Hello everyone, thank you for tuning into my channel. Today, I have a new story to share with you. Join me as we delve into this tale. During his closure, he acquired a new skill. The event of swallowing the spirit just occurred. Phương Hưu entered the Manhwa Museum, evaluating the highest authority of the Thai court. Manhwa's name was famous, but it had no connection to the divine. There was no connection to the divine, only peculiar training methods and strategies, the method of moving qi. It speaks of opening the human body to create treasures. The training methods here are truly unique and different from the flashy training styles on JoJo. All sorts of magic and spells are awakening. Only a child practicing body training has reached the peak. He took a divine stick, dropped it into the mouth of the greedy beast, and the beast did not close following the disappearance of the spirit. It could be due to the law of steel, or perhaps both originate from the same source. The steel mouth is in the steel god country, not restricted. Then he began training according to the method of the spirit technique. As a result, after swallowing this talent pill, Phương Hưu suddenly felt not only an essential amount of superior vitality in his body but also a vague force. He realized this force was familiar. During an unspecified period, the time force directly flowed into the time law. And then, there was no trace. How could this be? Why did a time force suddenly appear? Phương Hưu frowned. He couldn't even perceive where this time force came from. He looked at the talent pill beside him. Quickly, he found a fiery red gem called Fire Cloud. It was a truly precious elemental talent. And right after Phương Hưu ate Fire Cloud, he felt within his body. He felt that there is no possibility of Fire Cloud. Just a genius treasure with activity attributes, although precious in this world, cannot contain the power of time. If there is a genius treasure that contains the power of time, don't mention it in the land of the gods. It is JoJo, where even the gods want the carp to exist. He cannot understand. He swallowed a branch of golden fire, and a miraculous thing happened in his body. Suddenly, a little time power appeared again, although not much, but it really exists. Fire vortex truly contains the power of time. When he continued to swallow the fire vortex, he finally swallowed all the fire vortex in the Manhwa Museum, totaling not much, only about over 100, swallowed more than 100 units of time power. The law of time has no reaction, the body is undergoing changes, the skin of Phương Hưu turns red, as if there is a fire burning in the blood vessels, the feeling of pain as if being burned all over the body. Phương Hưu remains calm and starts practicing according to the notes of the divine man. 3 days later, Phương Hưu held a holy dragon fruit and started to swallow it. A strange event occurred, the power of time appeared once again. The king beast can also provide time power, the holy dragon fruit can also do this. This is no longer a coincidence. Phương Hưu, as usual, even sucking a genius treasure can provide time power. Phương Hưu stared at his deceptive mouth, wondering if the problem was not about the genius treasure, but about his own lack of thought. When the law of time combines with the law of deception, a new ability to absorb events has been discovered. He found the initial cause that the two laws combined to create a new ability to absorb time right after swallowing a genius treasure. Finally, turned into a transparent crystal, seemingly containing some kind of high-grade essence. Under the impetus of the sea of tears, the crystal exploded into millions of rays of light, and under the shining light, the deceptive gluttonous figure gradually lost its sacredness at that moment. Phương Hưu began to choose a piece of broken stone and then swallowed the time on it. As a result, the time power obtained became even rarer. It seems that the length of time is just one of the determining factors of time power. A piece of fragmented stone existing for a long time and occupying a small position seems too small. Even if this piece of fragmented stone can exist for thousands of years without being affected from the outside, it will never change position. The changes in time caused are also very small. Perhaps the time existing on the human body will be longer. To continue the experiment, he called 2 NHOC high. So that he caught a blind man. After a few days of bone and cartilage training in his body, he had completely exchanged substances for a long time. Although he still doesn't have power, in terms of physical intensity, he is strong enough to match someone who has undergone 3 transformations. In the wild environment, he is also one of the rare strong people. Catching a wild man is still an easy task. Phương Hưu looked at the unconscious wild man and opened his greedy mouth to start swallowing the time of his opponent. Immediately, a time force far exceeding the time that the divine treasure provided poured into his body. And when the time of the wild man was completely swallowed up, his breath and life also disappeared. Indeed, the time force that humans can provide far exceeds that of others. This discovery made Phương Hưu very satisfied. Since creating the law of time through deduction, he always didn't know how to create the second one. But now, unexpectedly, time has combined with swallowing. Then it is possible to swallow time. He feels that the law of time in his body, after swallowing a large amount of time force, has gradually developed. Even because of the constant expansion from the center, a small crack has emerged. I need more people. Phương Heu's mind suddenly lit up with a cold and gloomy light. Xu Nuoc Hai went to bring more people. And while Phương Heu trained eagerly, the land of Trung Nguyen also shook. In the imperial palace of the Tan Lan nation, the emperor of the Tan Lan nation, Lang Tin Ha, looked at investigator Tran Thang Dao reporting the situation. The investigator immediately said, "Your Majesty, the information is clear. I have had undercover investigators conduct several missions in the wilderness. The entire wild palace has turned into rubble." Lang Tin Ha fell into a strange, eerie silence. The atmosphere in the palace is extremely oppressive. Where is Lin Nhi, a person hidden in the wilderness, revealed? Some survivors in the wild palace seem to have encountered a slender girl with white hair. Standing next to the culprit who destroyed the Lam Tam Ha dynasty, suddenly enraged. The failure of the emperor is just a failure. Why let others defeat him? Even a little girl couldn't be protected. If I had known, I should have sold the spirit blade to him in the first place. He has unleashed his power in a short amount of time. Continuing to ask, have you identified the perpetrator who destroyed the dynasty? Not yet. After that person destroyed the dynasty, they never appeared. It's impossible to investigate, but I dare to affirm that person is definitely not from the devil sect. Rumors say he is not from the devil sect. Lam Tin Hak is a bit relieved. This person is currently not from the devil sect, but that doesn't mean they won't be in the future. This person could actually snatch the control of the Spirit Awakening statue from the Failure King and sacrifice the entire dynasty. He is capable, as we have seen the power of the gods. This dangerous person now controls Lin Nhi. If it is related to the devil sect, the power of the Tan Lan nation will immediately gather people to contact the Guardian clan. Assassinating even the seemingly unkillable must lead to the demise of Lin Nhi. A few days later, Phương Heu emerged from the wilderness not because he had finished, but because he was hungry. Forgetting that he had lost his celestial body and had become a human in need of sustenance upon his return. Although he could feast on the genius earth treasure daily, it truly couldn't fill his stomach. As he appeared, Phương Heu, who was hiding in the shadows, immediately lifted her head and swiftly approached Phương Heu with her petite and agile body. Expressionless, she looked at him without uttering a word. Perhaps he didn't understand how to communicate with others. At this moment, Phương Heu remarked that the recovery was too slow. He then took out a mystical fruit and tossed it to Phương Dao. Phương Dao obediently nibbled without saying a word, only. He seemed like he had never eaten a fruit before, as juice spilled all over his clothes when he chewed. Besides a hint of weakness, he said, "That's not how you eat." Seeing the juice flowing on him, he contemplated helping to clean it up, but Phương Dao turned and fled. He began to doubt himself. Could it be that he was once again shunned by Tu Nuoc Hai? Concerned. The deities had closed their doors for several days. Phương Dao didn't say a word. Even when I tried to communicate with him, he didn't react. Phương Heu paid no attention and grilled the meat by himself. Everything had been arranged by Tu Nuoc Hai. Eventually, he also became immortal. Phương Dao's spirit was truly equivalent to that of a 5 or 6-year-old child. Because he was always held captive in the dark prison, if it continues like this, perhaps. He feared Tu Nuoc Hai would mention it halfway and couldn't continue speaking as Phương Dao had come beside Phương Heu. With wide eyes, he stared intently at the grilled meat in Phương Heu's hand. With graceful steps, Phương Heu offers a piece of grilled meat to Phương Dao. He accepts the small piece of grilled meat, his petite figure sitting next to Phương Heu. Nibbling on the grilled meat, they sit side by side. Yu also realizes that he is surplus. With a bowed head filled with silent sorrow, Phương Heu asks, "How did you end up at the Divine King's palace sold off by his father?" Phương Dao chews on the grilled meat, speaking hesitantly. His face shows no emotion, as if speaking of another instead of himself. Phương Heu further inquires, "Why did your father sell you?" Phương Dao responds, "To kill my mother." When asked about his parents, Phương Dao stammers, "They are the emperor and empress of the Soaring Wolf country." Phương Heu recalls memories of the Divine King's palace, reminiscing about historical accounts of Trung Nguyen. Trung Nguyen, ruled by the Soaring Wolf country, where the highest ruler is the descendant of the ancestral empress. Due to the special traits of the ancestral empress, all her successors are female. Clearly, the empress of the Soaring Wolf country is also the descendant of the ancestral empress and the true ruler of the country. The emperor killing the empress mainly serves one purpose: to seize power. No emperor wants to have a queen above them. The reason behind Fuang Dao being sold to the Divine King's palace is easily understood. With the emperor in a weaker position compared to the empress, wanting to seize power, he must rely on external strength and the flesh of the ancestral empress heir. To the Divine King, the key to power lies in the heir. Naturally, both parties agree to use Fuang Dao, the emperor's daughter, as a bargaining chip. "Is your mother still alive?" Fuang Dao, expressionless, replies, "My father killed her." Fuang Hưu continues, "What about other relatives? Where are they?" Fuang Dao responds, "There is still a sister somewhere. After she killed me, she disappeared." Tu Nhoc Hai also said, "Father killed mother, he wanted to kill his sister. Why did he want to kill you?" Such a tragic story made the god Nhoc Hai, half of the divine sense, feel compassionate. What kind of family is this? Faced with the question of God, Nhoc Hai, Fuang Dao doesn't care, doesn't turn around. At this point, Fuang Hưu asked, "Why does your sister want to kill you?" Fuang Dao also said, "To solve the problem." After a while, Fuang Dao gradually recounted his past. His memory lasts only 5 years because at the age of 15, he was sold to the Ba Vong Din and then imprisoned in prison for 10 years. If it weren't for Fuang Hui's appearance, his fate would surely be exhausted and die alone, even more tragically. Because Vong Hung certainly wants future generations to always have descendants of the goddess when Fuang Dao is fully grown, he may force him to have children in the future. It is also fortunate that he has lost a lot of power, leading to slow development and weakness of the body, not enough to reproduce. So he is not attacked. Fuang Dao's memories are also quite vague, but Fuang Hung has guessed through his words that perhaps he will have to face the 5 assassins who have gone through 4 great times that have changed everything. Fuang Hung already knew about Fuang Dao's voice. The Ha Tai is angry as thunder. He thinks Fuang Dao has been pitied enough, not expecting to go through such a tangled and tragic journey, being sold and bought by his father. Fuang Dao is not a beast, it's something else. Fuang Dao doesn't care about Ha Thai's anger, still maintaining his thoughts. He has thought about why the king of Lang Sun wants to kill his children. He guesses that this may be related to the goddess of mercy, because all of the descendants of the goddess of mercy are women. Only they have the ability to control the power of the goddess of mercy. The king of Lang Sun will surely kill all the descendants of the goddess of mercy to maintain his power. So the king of Lang Sun must die for Fuang Dao to take over the goddess of mercy. This is an important part of his plan. Now, if the king of Lang Sun wants to stop it, he must die in an instant. He has been looking for a way to restore power. It seems that the emperor of the Thuong Land kingdom must die for Fuang Dao to take over the divine tower. This is an important part of his plan. Now, if the emperor of the Thuong Land kingdom wants to stop it, he must die. His train of thought then turned to the idea that the king of the Vong Bong Vong Tan was eliminated. Such a big event, even if the emperor of Lang Sun realizes it, what will the reaction be when the opponent knows that Fuang Dao is not dead at that moment? Fuang Hưu slowly stood up. Fuang Dao hasn't finished eating, quickly grabbed the grilled meat in his hand. Also standing up, if you are correct, Emperor Thuong Lan will know that Fuang Dao has escaped the danger, will surely send someone to kill him again. During this time, Jia T practiced. We need to quickly conduct the first mental refining. 2 Nhoc Hai worries about the divine stone. So what are we still doing here? Let's run quickly. Fuang Hưu gently looked at him, with a little sarcasm, usually enough for me to run away. Right, we almost forgot that we still have the divine statue here. This is the safest place, only when the enemy arrives is the nuisance of the superior general. You activate the divine statue to swallow the enemy, it's not a problem. But Fuang Hưu said that the divine statue is not satisfied with the activation, no one can activate it without enough etiquette. At that moment, the expression of concern of 2 Nhoc Hai, when he puts himself in a dangerous situation, in such situations, he must have run away for a long time. Under my heart, I almost forgot that we still have the image of the creator beast here, this is the safest place. Only the enemy bothers the creator beast. By activating the image of the creator beast, you can swallow the enemy, right? However, Fuang Hưu spoke about the creator beast, not satisfied, no one can activate it. The uneaten food of Fuang Dao, quickly grab the grilled meat in hand. Also stand up. If Fuang Dao is correct, if the emperor of Thuong Land knows that Fuang Dao has escaped, he will surely send someone to kill him again. During this time, the family will practice. This is not a way to kill the enemy, but to make food. After a period of fighting, after Fuang Hưu adapted to the situation, he also used his greedy mouth to swallow all 5 people. Fuang Hưu discovered that the crack in his body had increased significantly, and the strength of his body had also increased significantly, perhaps soon he would undergo a second evolution. He turned back to the statue of the gluttonous god, But the result was that Fong Du was truly bound next to the statue of the god. At that time, Hu Vo Hai quickly ran to the supreme god does not want to tie him up, but Fong Du saw him alone facing 5 people, 16 wanted to help. I can't stop it anymore, this is the only way. And when the rope was untied, Fong Du didn't pay attention to Hu Vo Hai, he ran straight to Fuang Hu, still silent. He exhaled a gentle breath and waved his hand. A powerful announcement echoed in the air. A compressed airflow, like a powerful bullet hitting a large rock in the distance. In the next second, the rock shattered into many fragments. This is the spiritual thing, right? Truly the physical transformation. His current physical strength may be comparable to a 6th grade divine body. The Tan No country is not joking. Fuang Hu clearly knows that the spiritual thing is beyond the world. Any poison he has swallowed can be released from the 8 demons' divine palace. This means that now just by wanting it, he can completely turn himself into a completely poisonous person. For the time order, it is just an increasing crack. Then Fuang Hu left Fong Dao, immediately found Fuang Hua's position accurately, then ran to him. After 5 days without seeing Fong Hua's face, Fong Dao finally gained a bit of flesh and cuteness. At this point, 2 Nhoc Hai ran up. Subsequently, Fuang Hu left Fong Dao's room immediately to accurately locate Fuang Dao's position, then hurried towards it. After 3 days without seeing Fong Dao, finally a hint of plumpness and cuteness appeared on Fong Dao's face. At this moment, 2 Nhuec Hai immediately rushed over. There are enemies, why is Fuang Hu calm? I know they have arrived. 2 hours ago, they were hiding hundreds of miles away. 2 Nhuec Hai was slightly surprised. Unexpectedly, Fuang Hu, while closing the door, could still sense accurately like that. Has he truly completed the ascension? Fuang Hu also nods, seemingly to express agreement. 2 Nhuec Hai is even more surprised. He, too, cultivates the spirit of the supreme maniac and naturally knows how difficult ascension is. Even with a half-god foundation and the ability to receive some genius treasures, ascension still requires at least a few months of effort. But unexpectedly, Fuang Hu ascends in just a few short days. In fact, in terms of talent, Fuang Hu is not inferior to Tan Bien Hai, but he hacked it just right, didn't he? I presume the reason why they dare not approach is because they fear the heavenly thunderbolt stone idol, hence they hide in the vicinity. If I were them, the next step would surely involve using tactics to lure us away from the domain of the stone idol. Therefore, we must not fall for it. Where do you want to go, O divine thunderbolt stone idol? The weak sea asks, not finishing the sentence. The person has already walked towards Fuang Hua's enemy. Everyone steps out to surround and watch over the princess. Where do you want to go, O true god? 2 Nhuec Hai didn't finish his sentence either, as the man stepped forward because Fuang Hu suddenly moved towards the hiding place of the enemy. All appeared and protected Fuang Hu, focusing on the princess. Disciple of the 19th celestial power, the old man holds an iron rod, looking at Fuang Hu without turning his gaze to the 7th immortal training god. The enchanting woman holding a whip intending to introduce herself but being interrupted by Fuang Hu. I don't care to know the name of the deceased. The old man with white hair stood up. I don't know that you have a noble name, the dead don't care about my name. Fang Wei has a calm face, completely ignoring the 5 people in front of him. The strong man with the hammer is angry, it doesn't work, it's really arrogant, but he doesn't take his saints seriously. You guys are by my side to protect me today. I want to see if he has anything arrogant. Looking at the strong man who came forward, Fang Wei frowned and said softly, is it necessary to waste such time? Everyone attacked together. The strong man holding the star hammer felt insulted, raised the star hammer high, and directly attacked Fang Wei. However, Fang Wei directly used the steam eclipse mouth, and immediately swallowed all the power on the star hammer. The strong man holding the star hammer suddenly panicked. Unexpectedly, his attack was exposed again. Fang Wei was gently exposed as such a weak attack. Do you think an attack like this can kill anyone, even yourself? The strong man, angry, lifts his hammer high and strikes continuously at Fuang Hu. However, Fuang Hu directly uses the devouring mouth, immediately swallowing all the strength on the man's hammer. The strong man, holding the hammer, suddenly panics, not expecting his own attack to be nullified. Fuang Hu gently says, is that a weak attack like that? But no matter how strong the result is, the hammer in Fuang Hua's hand is still stable, not shaken at all because all the strength transmitted to the hammer has been swallowed up by the devouring mouth. That is the powerful strength derived from the iron stone devouring mouth, which is now far different from before. Even time can be swallowed up, not to mention the power. It's just because of the lack of soul that can only be seen as an arm to fight. It can be predicted that when one day leaves the world of gods, After recovering the soul, the greedy mouth will unleash a terrible power. At that time, it will truly swallow the sky and the earth, swallow everything. The strong man quickly grabbed another hammer to attack Phương Hưu. But Phương Hưu didn't give him that chance, immediately throwing both himself and the hammer far away. The old man with silver hair first laughed at his departure immediately. 4 people attacked at that moment. The strong man had detonated the poison in the meteor hammer. The third position of the heavenly compass poison isn't afraid that it will harm me and my allies. The strong man also said, if it weren't for that, how could we defeat the 5th-ranked key mother sword? It must have also used the heavenly compass poison. The strong man didn't budge, even saying that the winner is the loser. Have you said enough? Phương Hui's calm voice rang out amidst the darkness. The strong man couldn't believe it. This can't happen. The heavy heavenly compass poison will die. Why is he still alive? But just after a second, Phương Hưu absorbed all of that poison. A sense of satisfaction appeared on his calm face. Still tastes good. Right, there is a high possibility that this person possesses a body that is not afraid of any poison. It can't be prolonged any longer. Let's settle it quickly. The old man with silver hair couldn't defeat Phương Hưu. A sense of unease arose in Phương Hui's heart facing the attack of 5 people. Phương Hưu turned 2 fists into countless images, hitting the 5. The 5 were immediately thrown far away, realizing they had been infected with dry fire poison. The strong man had been using poison from before, hurriedly took out an antidote and swallowed it. The others also hurriedly exclaimed, "We also need an antidote." However, the strong man's face turned pale after swallowing the antidote. This is not the dry fire poison antidote. It contains at least 100 different poisons. How could there be anyone in this world who can perfectly blend 100 different poisons? When they were about to escape, Phương Hưu appeared and said, "Tell me how you want to die." The 5 people couldn't see an immediate way to attack Phương Hưu. And Fang Wei also fought patiently after a period of fighting. After Fang Hưu adapted to the situation, he also used his greedy mouth to devour 5 people. Fang Wei found that the cracks in his body had increased a lot, and his body strength had also increased sharply. Maybe it wouldn't be long before he would evolve a second time. He went back under the god statue of greed, but as a result, Feng Yao was really tied up next to the god statue at that time. Void Wuhai hurriedly ran to the god. Really didn't want to tie him up, but Feng Yao saw that he was confronting 5 people alone. 16 people wanted to help. I couldn't stop anymore. In the end there was only this way. Seeing Fang Wei return to Feng Yao, there was no sign of resistance, just quietly tied up there with big round eyes staring at him. Wu Wuhai hurriedly relieved Feng Yao. Whispered Feng Yao, "Don't blame Uncle Hai. You really can't let you go too dangerously. And what's more, you don't know about the true power of the god. In short, you just need to know that the god is really a very, very strong person." Even when the rope was opened, Feng Yao left the ears of Void Wuhai, ran to Fang Hui's side, and still didn't say a word. And when the rope was taken off, Feng Yao didn't pay attention to Void Wuhai, ran straight to Fang Hui's side, still silent. He just stared without expressing any emotions, his eyes empty, looking down at the 2 figures of adults and children standing together. He doesn't understand why he feels strange. He even thinks that if he were Feng Hưu, he would definitely help. Gently touching Feng's head, he softly said, "You're fine," but Feng Hưu truly said, "You are too weak. At this moment, you are not worthy to accompany me in battle." Feng Dao said nothing. He remained silent, turned away, and walked into an empty corner. Starting to cultivate the angel wood. In reality, he had been cultivating all this time. Even though imprisoned for 10 years, his body had not fully recovered. However, the bloodline inheritance of Nu Oa was too powerful. In just a few days, Feng Jiu had achieved cultivation accomplishments. He even surpassed the cultivation of ordinary people for many years. But still not enough to face this immense Huyanlang nation. He couldn't even be considered an ant. Hai Huhai approached, asking if his determination was truly so ruthless. In the end, he still had her. As a goddess who had not even once ascended, she had been running away her whole life. Did she want to continue running? Hai Huhai also expressed gratitude to the divine teaching that helped him understand, to enhance the power of his tools. Feng Hưu also needed to strive in this world. Strength must be understood clearly and faced with the strongest Huyanlang nation. Without enough strength, it would be impossible. After his second ascension, he realized Lang Tin Ha was leading an army to attack. Just at that moment, Feng Hưu eliminated the assassin sent from Huyanlang and then closed the gates of Huyanlang. In the palace, Lang Tin Ha was so angry that he called everyone trash. Even the 5 divine table masters were defeated, and the power of that person had just entered the level of divine table master. The 8 immediately went to see the king. "You will face the power of Earth God if you do not want to face 5 people alone. So, give me one more chance." This time, I will contact the leader of the 5 table masters, Kiem Tan Luk New Fong. This person has reached the highest level of transformation, he will surely fulfill the task. The cold king of the Lang kingdom said, if the holy sword fails, what then? The assistant immediately realized the danger and began to feel anxious, his body trembling. If he attacks, no one can confront him except the king. The cold king laughed, if the holy sword fails, what then? The assistant finally realized the danger and began to feel anxious, his body trembling. You are useless, punish me, I am truly useless. The king knew that the opponent had just received the power of the earth god, so why send someone to test him over and over again? Do you know how far it is from Huyan Lang to Vong Dinman? You don't have to allow the other party to fail step by step and then use the supreme power of earth god to fully develop. Even Lin Dao has advanced. Finally, to Tinlong, the divine master, I regret deeply. I am very sorry, I will contact the 5 tables master, General Qin, and ask him to lead 10,000 strong troops along with the Shen Plank masters in the palace to destroy this enemy, not to let the enemy have any chance. King Xuanlang suddenly said, no need. I will go down to the battlefield myself. The assistant was immediately stunned. The king can't be a nobleman, how can he go down to the battlefield by himself? Before the scenario ended, he was taken out by Lin Xing, so I hope you fail. My kingdom has long since ended. Remember the lesson of the lion and the rabbit. A power of the earth god and the blood heritage of the 2 dangerous things that have been combined. I will not let them have any chance to develop. I heard that he ordered the gathering of 10,000 medicine spirit troops. The emperor's expedition against the demonic villains. A month later, Fang Shu finally welcomed his second ascension. However, the only thing that displeased Fang Shu was that after the second ascension, his physical prowess remained at the 6th rank, approaching the limit of the 7th rank command. Yet he couldn't stop accumulating life orders like extreme ascenders. He speculated that perhaps the rules of the New Wood Divine Kingdom were causing this. Perhaps only the extreme ascenders could cease the accumulation of life orders, while he, due to his profound foundation, possessed the peak physicality of the 5 realms. So after one ascension, he could compete with those who ascended 4 times in this realm. Interestingly, during this time, 2 Nhuoc Hai and Fan Nagu also completed their first ascension. When the real god truly encountered an accident, Shu Ruohai quickly advanced into Fangzia's hidden place. His stern expression contrasting with Fuang Huck's calm demeanor. Just now, some tribes harvesting unique herbs in the east came to report. They said they saw traces of a large army marching in the Red Earth mountain range. It seems to be the army of the Kanglang kingdom, with at least 100,000 dragon banner bearers. Only the emperor's expedition carries the dragon banner. The emperor of the Shanglang kingdom has arrived. Fuang Huck slowly rose, his gaze still as calm as water. It seems he was not surprised by the appearance of the emperor of the Shanglang kingdom. It seems this emperor wants to resolve all troubles at once. During this time, Fuang Tu may have been infected by Fuang Tu. He weakened to the point of no longer yielding. Facing the emperor leading the army and 100,000 soldiers, he seemed eager for battle. Some things are inevitable. Since the enemy has set out, let us proactively make them regret coming to Fuang Tu. The weakling looked at him mockingly, not understanding why the weakling moved from one extreme to another. Do you think with just tens of thousands of weaklings like you can defeat 100,000 elite troops of the enemy, or do you believe that as a worshipper, you can stand up against the emperor of the Lang kingdom, who possesses the power of the divine kingdom? The final courage of the weak has been concentrated, extinguished by the cold water of Fang Shu. Lord, how should we respond? Fang Shu said directly. After a few hours, the emperor of the Shanglang kingdom led the army to the savage kings. The reason for their slow pace was because along the way, they had also solved many barbaric caves to expand the territory of the Shanglang kingdom. Lin Xin's gaze was as deep as if it had crossed the last sea of people landed on Fang Yao and Fang Shu. That's because along the way, they have solved many caves of Manhuang's invasion, expanding the territory for the Lang Sun Lin Tam country. The eyes of Lin Xin are as deep as crossing a sea of people, finally stopping at Fuang Dao and Fuang Hung. Directly ordered 100,000 soldiers to attack, but the blind soldiers saw the scene, and also fled. Xuanyu Hai immediately slashed, and even killed some soldiers who fled, but in vain at this time. Fang Xing said softly, there was no need to obstruct, but the avatar really allowed them to disintegrate. Not yet fighting, but their role was never to kill the enemy, but to make food. Immediately afterwards, in Fang Xing's mouth, an ancient and incomprehensible symbol of the encounter with the serious punishment of the phantom god, the terrifying ghostly force rushed down. The mouth of the god statue widened, a bottomless black hole emerged from nowhere, strongly absorbing the reproaches around him. At that moment, Lin Xing stretched out his hand, The light around seemed to be guided by an invisible hand. The forging force in the darkness gradually gathered in his hand. Eventually, it turned into a semi-transparent trapezoidal crystal that seemed to contain some kind of high-grade crystal. Under the impetus of the Seluck line, the crystal exploded into millions of rays of light, and under the light of the illuminated god of cheating statue, it suddenly lost its sacredness. Staring at the crystal in the opponent's hand, Fuang Hung furrowed his brows gently, sensing clearly that the connection between himself and the deceitful deity had been severed in the blink of an eye. Hak Fumi. He understood that the 8-mystery divine jade in his hand was not the true divine mother jade, but merely an image of the deity, akin to a key unlocking the deity's power. Ultimately, the divine mother was not something anyone could wield. Similarly to when he obtained the divine mother of the original moon, unless acknowledged by the deity, one could not retain the deity. The Divine Mother was even more difficult, not to mention the Divine Mother Jade. Perhaps ordinary people had no right to interact with it, he speculated. It was likely a handle left by the Divine Mother originally, allowing future generations to wield the deity's power through this handle. This battle ultimately was a clash between the Divine Mother's nation and the Thao Tiem Lin Tin Ha, relying on the Divine Mother's deity to temporarily sever the link between the Thao Tiem and the image of the divine nation. In such a situation, unless Thao Tiem actively intervened, no one could stop Lin Tin Ha. The issue was that Thao Tiem only knew how to consume without taking further action. At this moment, Hu Yu Hai and Fuang Dao also joined the fight, while Fuang Hu remained motionless. Instead, he observed Lin Tin Ha in the air, noticing a very peculiar point. Clearly, Lin Tin Ha could harness the power of the Divine Mother, a power not only sufficient to rule in this world but also to make one confidently lead under the genuine sky. In this case, possessing such a powerful force, he could entirely act on his own to solve any issues but chose to delegate to Fuang Hu. Looking through, Fuang Dao was protecting and attacking the enemy in moments of weakness. In his mind, a speculation arose: the Divine Mother's deity could not be used to oppose the descendants of the Divine Mother. Even if used to resist the descendants of the Queen, there is a risk of being deprived. That's why Lang Tin Ha must kill Fuang Dao, because he doesn't allow anyone to steal the goddess of mercy from his hands. The grace of Fuang Dao. In a moment, Fang Tu was innocently a little embarrassed, directly hugged Fang Dao and looked at Lin Xing Ha coldly. That's right. That is the strategy he has come up with currently. Facing Wang Mao's divine power, it is impossible to defeat, so if you want to win, you have to limit the opponent from using Wang Mao's power. And Fang Dao is the best restrictive measure. As long as they wear Fang Dao under the enemy's anger, they will not dare to use the power of Wang Mother Ling Xing. His eyes are full of murderous intent. He is a smart person through Fang Hua's actions. He quickly understood that the other party had realized his weakness. This made him angry. Grandpa thought that this way could limit the system. Today the system will tell him that even if there is no power, Wang Mo's Shen Qi is still the world champion. Immediately afterwards, Lin Tin Ha directly used the blood qi to turn into long hair and attack. Fang Wei directly grabbed the long hair, using Thao Tiem's mouth to swallow Lin Tin Ha. Fang Hua's convulsions were even more painful when he felt Fang Hua's power in his left hand, the mouth of Thao Tiem. This did not surprise Fuang Hu. He can control the power of the Vong Mao. Lin Tin Ha stands at the pinnacle of this world. The fact that Fuang Hu can control the power of the Vong Mao for many years, under the warmth of his physical strength, he is comparable to the divine. Today, you will see how much you can swallow. Then, Lin Tin Ha focused a long strand of blood-red hair hundreds of feet long to attack Fuang Hu. Facing that terrifying blow, Fuang Hu remains calm, gently raising his left hand. Thao Tiem's mouth opened, ready to swallow the Ket Kwa staff. Immediately upon swallowing, Fuang Hua's left arm exploded. Witnessing this, Lin Tin Ha remarked, "This is the fate of those who swallow elephants. Next will be the right arm." Having lost his left arm, the next will be the right arm. People began to create a horrifying blood-colored staff. Fuang Hu embraced Fuang Dao, his eyes empty as he looked at his lost left arm for the first time, emotions coloring his gaze. A faint light of 5 colors quietly flickered. Fuang Hu then mentioned the stove. The broken left arm emitted a strong suction force, swallowing all the surrounding soldiers. In return, Fuang Hua's left arm recovered directly. Lam Tam Ha was furious. "How dare you swallow the soldiers of the clan to compensate for yourself today? You will surely die without a place to bury. And you, Lang Dao, should have died 10 years ago." This time, his anger gathered into thousands of blood-colored spears. Each spear, about 100 feet long, contained an unimaginably terrifying force. Facing the incoming attack, Fuang Hu knew he had to open up again. These attacks surely couldn't kill him as he had 5 natural iron decrees and certain absorbing properties. There are 100,000 bags of blood here wanting to kill him, which is very difficult, but Lang Dao can't do it. Under such an attack, Lang Dao will surely die without a body. He is the key to controlling the then Cash Nu. Phương Hưu naturally couldn't let him die like that, so he had to open up again. This time, there were also some mistakes in the assessment. Unexpectedly, the power of the Cash Nu exceeded the power of his own body, even enough to rival a semi-divine body. Such terrifying power may have reached the forbidden limit, where even the power of the Cash Nu couldn't be opposed. Just as Phương Hưu was about to activate the Luke Len decree. Silently waiting for death, Moi society surprisingly wins. He did not show any surprise in front of him and suddenly transformed as if a strong external force was invading. The next moment, he suddenly shattered, and a woman in white appeared out of nowhere, standing in front of Phương Hưu. When the woman appeared at that moment, whether it's Lam Tin Ha or Phương Dao, both have changes in their eyes. Surprised to find that Lam Tin Ha indeed has the power of Kim Lin Bitch. Immediately, Phương Hưu was about to open himself again, then suddenly a woman in white appeared before him. Lam Tin Ha's eyes suddenly narrowed unbelievably, looking at the woman in white before him, while Phương Dao's eyes showed a bit of resentment and pain. Only when the woman in white waved her hand did a rainbow appear instantly. In the blink of an eye, destroying all the colored spears, Lin Xin and said coldly it was Miss Lin Lin who didn't expect that today would be the day for the 3 of us women to reunite, but the woman in white Lin Lin completely defied Lin Tam and she looked in the direction of Fang Dao Ling Dao. Sister Ling Ling thought that she was dead, but she didn't expect that she had lived for a long time in the wilderness. Many years made her miserable. Fang Dao looked at her sister in front of her a little strange. Her eyes were full of coldness. It was the result of the harsh betrayal she had experienced. Lin Dao was killed by her 10 years ago. Now my name is Phương Dao. Her voice still retains a bit of the same tone but with a cold power, especially without any emotion. The tears in his eyes uncontrollably flowed out of his senses. The area he couldn't speak. Sorry, it's my sister, I am sorry. Lin Tam in the past, and in the middle of wanting to attack. Seeing the enemy coming, he picked up the tears in his eyes, emitting a cold light when he was about to act. A figure in a white shirt suddenly entered the match. At the top was a middle-aged man with a face like a horse, a middle-aged man who was born. Seeing the middle-aged man, the whole group shouted, "Master, you're here, you're here." The middle-aged man smiled softly. Ling you're the holy lady of my holy religion. How can the holy Dao from top to bottom let you think for yourself from top to bottom? Yes, holy woman in such a big scene. How can you not call you return? The middle-aged man brought a group of people, a man with an innocent face, a strong body, smiled stupidly, Lao Lin Xin and was angry when he thought that he didn't expect that the people of the demon sect also came, and he had been chasing you for so many years, and today he came here by himself. He stared at the blessed one of the spirit and said quietly, and there is also the white elephant gone at that time. He was like a vicious dog that followed his own queen and now wrapped himself around his own daughter. He was really a ghost who refused to leave. If it wasn't for that time, he would have robbed the spirit. Hearing from the queen, Bai Shanggong's eyes lit up. A deeply engraved painful emotion. He was not worthy of replacing him. Ling Ling quickly ran to Bai Shanggong, full of anxiety and callousness. Lin Xing also said, you are really a loyal seed, don't worry, there will be a chance to meet the queen and everyone else. While the two sides were confronted, Lin Xingyi's gaze turned to the image of Fang Wei and suddenly shouted Kong Gong. Stopping, Fang Wei hugged Fang Dao tightly while he was being pushed to a place where his soldiers collapsed one by one. Vitality and time were as great as a rushing river into his body. He didn't care about these family tangled stories. While the two sides were chatting, he constantly absorbed the soldiers around him, constantly strengthening himself. Lin Xing just wanted to act with Fang Wei when he was stopped by Ling Ling. She could not see her younger sister being hurt. Lam Tin Ha angry, a punch thrown out, the terrifying bloodthirsty power suddenly sprayed out. Lin Lin felt tears falling on her body at that moment, the horrifying power dormant in her blood suddenly flared up. In that moment, the light of life shines on the land, terrifying power that has not yet materialized. In this light, her long and slender legs begin to transform into a snake tail, a powerful divine strength over Lin Lin's body. The light of life shines on the land, terrifying power that has not yet materialized before becoming a reality. This powerful transformation attracts Phương Hui's attention as he gazes intently at Lin Lin facing Lam Tin, stopping at her snaketail, deeply thoughtful face. At this moment, Lin Lin seems to have transformed into someone else, more accurate, from a person to a deity. Her perfectly combined beautiful face with powerful strength, long hair falling like a waterfall, shimmering shoulders, shining eyes becoming deep and distant, making others unable to look directly at her. The lower part of her body is a giant snake tail covered in shimmering scales, radiant in various colors. There is no sense of horror, but rather full of a divine and friendly atmosphere. Seeing this, Lam Tin Ha and Phương Hưu are both surprised by her mythological form. You have truly mastered the divine form of the female sage. Looking at the unfamiliar eldest daughter before her, she sees the image of the queen on the opponent. Today, I will avenge Mother Queen Lam Lam without a word wasted, rushing to attack Lam Tin Ha. Both sides immediately face each other and are amazed to see that after Lam Lam activated her divine form facing Lam Tin Ha, who possesses a sacred body, she is not inferior. The generals of Kang Lang Kwok have also begun to fight with Bok Tuong Kong and others. Bok Tuong Kong facing two generals who have reached the extreme, the battle is still evenly matched. Phương Hưu sees a slight fluctuation in the divine power of Bok Tuong Kong. Perhaps he has also swallowed the flesh of the descendants of Nu No, but based on how Lin Lin treats him, it seems like a voluntary sacrifice. This is also the reason he can face two people. But Phương Hưu will not swallow Phuong Dao's flesh because that would be foolish. The divine power is weak, and the seed of divinity is in front of him. How will he choose? Even a fool knows to choose the Phong Tan Nai, and the key to control Phong Tan Nai is Phuong Dao. So he is not so foolish as to swallow Phuong Dao's flesh just for a little insignificant divine power. Although for Phuong Dao, this does not affect the foundation, but Phương Hưu is truly concerned about his soul. He clearly knows why Phuong Dao depends on him, not only because he saved him, but also because he did not take Phuong Dao back and gave her to Tho Hugh, causing a large number of men to die before him. Despite being young, Phuong Dao also knows why she was held captive, understanding the significance of her flesh and blood to others. When he took his blood, what difference is there compared to the blood of Vong Man Hoang, even after saving him? In his heart, he only thinks that he was saved for his flesh and blood. Therefore, Phương Hưu will never do foolish things like destroying Phuong Dao's dependence on him for some insignificant flesh and blood, then pushing the Ton Kak Nu No out of the door. He no longer has the Dien Dao in. It's impossible to control Jiang Mongwei to control Phuong Dao, so only sincerity can be exchanged for sincerity. Luckily, Phuong Dao's actions are progressing well. Phương Hưu even suspects that even if Phuong Dao uses the electric Dao seal, it may reduce Phuong Dao's loyalty. Ling Ling and others share the pressure, making Phương Hưu feel very comfortable. He only needs to face 100,000 troops, even starting to feel the laziness of Hu Nuoc Hai quietly returning to Phương Hua's side after killing the enemy. Watching Ling Ling and others battle, at the same time complaining about the fight between the divine neighbors Lin Tam Ha and his queen, Phuong Tuong then, who pursues the queen, is the one who saved Phuong Dao's two sisters. It seems that he then left Ling Ling and later accepted Ling Ling as a disciple. But here it is discovered that Ling Ling's gaze at Phuong Tuong then seems abnormal, as if combined with love. It means Phuong Tuong then likes Lin Tam as queen, Ling Ling's mother, and Ling Ling likes Phuong Tuong then. Lin Tam Ha wants to kill Ling Ling and Phuong Tuong then. Phương Hưu frowned in silence. I don't care about such nonsense. Bring more soldiers here. Helplessly pointing at True Tai as Phương Hưu was madly swallowing giant amounts of life energy, making his body stronger. The large amount of time is nurturing the time law. He even wonders if swallowing all 100,000 soldiers in front of him could directly upgrade him to the third rank. Perhaps even the time law will completely divide the appearance of the second stone. But humans are always defeated by the desire for battles between Lin Tam Ha and Lin Lin. Finally, unable to continue the endless confrontation, the first injured person is Lin Tam Ha. Facing Lin Lin, he cannot use the electric Dao seal, but Lin Lin carries the power of Nu No from her blood, combined with her current divine form, even overcoming Lin Tam Ha in a vague way with a horrifying blow from Ling Ling. As Lin Tam Ha was defeated, his eyes widened in shock, blood streaming down. Even his clothes in front were torn and stained. The moment of his death had arrived, as seen in Ling Ling's eyes filled with deep-seated hatred, like a serpent slithering in the sky. Lying injured on the ground, following Lin Tam Ha, you thought you had won, but little did you know that the favorable opportunity you thought was created by me. As the hell flowers bloomed with the signal of Lin Tam Ha, flowers of hell began to slowly grow on his body. Unexpected retaliation. Lam Tam Ha, Dai Hu Dao, you thought you had won, didn't you? Little did you know that the favorable chance you thought was deliberately given by me. When the non-flowers bloomed along with the signal of Lam Tam Ha on his body, non-flowers began to slowly emerge. Witnessing this devouring action, one cannot help but pause for a moment, gazing intently at the hell flowers on Lin Tam's body. Frowning, he never thought that in the kingdom of Tho Tien, one could see hell flowers. And this hell flower was very special, giving the feeling of a small version of the hell white lotus. In an instant, the endless sea of hell flowers covered the sky. Ling Ling could not believe this was the divine power different from the female No and the power of another deity. In the past, he used the power of the deity to attack the Mao Hao. One cannot deny that the niece was indeed intelligent, controlling the power of the female Oa. Even if attacked, it could not be dealt with. Fortunately, there was the protection of the fate of the flower deity. Thanks to the power of the flower deity, he finally killed that despicable villain and took over the power of the female Oa. Lin Lin heard the reason for her mother's death. Her eyes immediately turned red with irrationality, rushing to attack Lin Ho. However, on his path, countless non-flowers bloomed. The blooming Bianhua flowers have caused him to suffer consecutive failures. Although Bianhua flowers are not strong, they are very special. Any flower that falls on Ling Ling's body is crushed by the power of Nuwa, but at the same time, it also consumes a part of Ling Ling's spiritual power. Ling Nhi cannot continue until the retreat. The rushing Bianhua flowers force Ling Ling to retreat step by step. Bianhua flowers are not strong but very strange. If they fall on Ling Ling, they will be crushed by the power of Nuwa. However, a part of the spiritual power will be consumed at that time, suppressing Ling Er, unable to resist and should retreat. Bai Shang Tan sees the situation not optimistic, hurriedly calls back Ling Ling. Ling Ling senses the remaining power of Nuwa in her body, gazes at Ling Hu, and decides to retreat. She uses a powerful final blow with a snake tail. A five-colored thread burning across the sky burns all the Bianhua flowers flying in. Then she immediately appears next to Fuang Dao, shaking her head and warning of danger here, quickly leave with her sister. However, Fuang Dao pulls out a knife and stabs her in the heart. Ling Ling smiles sadly at Dao Dao. I know you still hold resentment in your heart about the past. I am sorry, but now you are too weak. Wanting to kill me is not enough. Come with me now. Go to a safe place first. If you want to kill me later, I will not resist. He is boldly pretending to greed for more energy from the Bianhua flowers. Previously, Ling Ling wanted to lead Fuang Dao to escape. But Fuang Dao, who spoke ill of Ling Ling, did not hesitate to take out a knife and stab her. This is Bai Shang Quan talking about Ling Dao. The past cannot blame you, there are reasons that are difficult to avoid. If anyone has to blame, it is only Fuang Dao. Gazing at the woman in front of Lin Nhi without any emotional expression, coldly stating I will not follow you. Where he goes, I go. Lin Nhi looks at Fuang Hu, realizing the necessity to leave immediately. Have you seen our current situation? We are not strong enough to fight against Lam Tin Ha. Without any explanation, Fuang Hu emphasizes, now Lam Tin Ha carries the power of both Nu Oa and Tanhua, not everyone can deal with that. Let's retreat for now, then plan together. You are not Lin Dao either. Second, Fuang Dao trembles in her arms and looks at Fuang Hu with an empty gaze. Fuang Lin directly interrupts when hearing from friends that Lam Tin Ha is now carrying the power of both Nu Oa and Tanhua, superhuman abilities not everyone can handle. But at least he can persuade Fuang Hu. Lin Lin becomes more assertive, emphasizing to friends, now Lam Tin Ha carries two powers of Nu Oa and Tanhua, not everyone can handle that. Let's retreat for now and plan together. I don't think I can persuade my sister, but at least I can persuade Fuang Hu. In the end, the younger sister always resents him, but Fuang Hung is a stranger, yet in the eyes of others, facing an unbeatable enemy, it's not easy for someone else to follow him in fleeing. Not to mention, he will chase after them regardless. However, Fuang Hung remains calm, saying there is no need to run. Then he walks, embracing Fuang Dao in his arms, following the direction of Lam Tin Ha. What are you doing? You are heading towards death. The enemy, whom even our saintess cannot defeat. Do you think you can defeat Lin Lin Bok Tuong Fu Dik? The two look at each other, one ready to raise his hand to strike down Fuang Gi. Riding a few people in a riding posture, that is a sign of weakness. Hai Dak, ahead of the bodies of the two, if there is anything, please ask the two. Do not obstruct the decision of the heavenly God. He is simply seeking death. Perhaps you were once helpers of love, but now I can only defy the weak sea. Don't rush. You don't understand, so I don't blame you. But do not doubt the decision of the deity. What you think is impossible is just normal in the eyes of the gods. Urgent situation. Ling Ling cannot listen to the rambling words of the weak sea. With one leap, he surpasses him. Intending to stop Fuang Gi at this moment, Lin Tam screams. You cannot escape. Lin Tam has mostly recovered after being severely injured. He stands up from the ground and controls millions of water lilies spreading all over the world like a black flood. Heading towards Fuang Gi and Fuang Dao, who are closest. Right then, Ling Tin and Kim Gao said, "That's impossible. My flower god, Chili, only sees Fuang Gi truly swallowing millions of water lilies in the sky." Ling Ling also cannot believe this. "See, I have said to believe in the gods." The gentle voice of the weak sea echoes, without any surprise. Ling Ling whispers, with dreamy eyes, "Who is this person? How could he swallow the power of my flower god?" Ling Tam reaches the extreme. The power of the flower god is his biggest secret. In the past, the reason he could plot to assassinate the queen was because of the power of the flower god. But now his biggest secret is no longer effective. At the same time, within Fuang Nghis body, Bitch Lin Lukla is rapidly taking shape visibly. At this moment, Fuang Gi calmly says, "Flower god, I still prefer to call him Bitch Lin Hak Lin." Lin Tam's eyes narrow. Is Bitch Lin Hak Lin his real name? How does he know? It seems that Tin Vu Qi has long been acquainted with the flower deity. He interrupted to avoid misunderstanding. "I have no relationship with Bitch Lin Hak Lin. If there is any, it would probably be a dining relationship. Currently, he is the best food for me." To prevent Lin Tin Hao from rallying his people, he had already decided on Fuang Gi's path, surprising and angering Lin Tin Hao. Eating deities, this is something that Thou Thuk Dao cannot do. How can he must be pretending. Just now, my blood power could have shattered his left hand, let alone the power of the flower deity. I will see how many bridges you can swallow. Bitch Lin. Immediately, millions of Bai Non flowers appeared again, but Fuang Gi was also excited. He couldn't imagine that his small world of Thou Thuk could bring him so much joy. Amazing. Worrying about not finding enough Bai Non flowers to fill Bitch Lin, Lukla suddenly opened Thou Thuk's mouth, releasing 5 majestic orders. Thou Thuk began to unleash the terrifying power of swallowing. Divine power. A surreal image of Thou Thuk gradually formed behind Fuang Gi. The deity's image opened its mouth, directly swallowing the Bitch Lin bridge. Lin Tin Hao saw this scene as if it were a sign of the sky collapsing. His mouth widened uncontrollably. Stiff, unable to utter a word. Right at that moment, Fuang Gi, the one who had once decided her fate, acted. Fuang Dao with an emotionless face, a hint of worry flickered on her small face. Suddenly, she broke free from his embrace, falling to the ground, tightly holding Fuang Hung's body, this time helping him stop. Lam Tin Hao laughed out loud and said he knew. "Oh my, no one can resist the power of the flower god. The little one has absorbed so much of the flower god's power, it must feel uncomfortable, right? It's like having countless virtual flower branches exist in your body. But don't rush, that's just the beginning. Soon, there will be countless seeds sprouting in your body, growing vigorously. Eventually, you will be absorbed into a wet garment on your body, covered with rashes, and that feeling is called the fire burial. Feeling overturned by others almost successfully, then striking back, leaving the heart silent and gloomy. Even the black starlight feels a bit arrogant." At this moment, Fuang Hu coughed up blood, his eyes firmly fixed on Lam Tam Ha, saying, "I really can't swallow any more of the flower god's power, but you have reached the final stage. I don't believe you have any more flower god's power left." Lam Tam Ha laughed loudly, "I want to dominate the world. The determination to fight internally, just by you, can make me reach the final stage. Die." He laughed again, unleashing the power of the flower god in the air once again, blooming the entire fire burial flower array. Fuang Hui's expression became resolute, and a hint of disbelief flashed in his eyes. "Do you really possess such a great power of the flower god?" He seemed to want to desperately try, raising his left hand with difficulty to open the iron layer to continue swallowing the fire burial flower. Lam Tam Ha was surprised that Fuang Hu could still swallow, but then Fuang Hu vomited a mouthful of blood. His form became more unstable, a worried look in Lam Tam Ha's eyes gradually fading, replaced by a hint of cruel intent. "I want to see how much you can swallow." More and more fire burial flowers bloomed to the point where the fire burial branches on his chest also withered. Fuang Dao looked intently at Fuang Hu, who was almost dying, his eyes vibrant and colorful. The hidden power in his blood suddenly erupted, and Fuang Dao's entire body began to shine in this light, his short white legs gradually transforming into a serpent tail. The powerful force of Nu Oa overflows onto Fuang Dao, the light of life shining upon him, awakening his mythological form. After awakening in his mythological form, Fuang Dao immediately stands before Fuang Hu. Seemingly wanting to help him share the burden but being forcefully pulled back by Fuang Hu, embracing tightly Fuang Dao, thinking that Fuang Hu wants to protect him and is willing to sacrifice. However, he is surprised to discover that he cannot escape the binding even though he has awakened in his mythological form. Facing Fuang Hu, he wavers for a moment. Fuang Dao seems to understand something. Initially, they were there when they saw Fuang Dao transform. Appeared seemingly unaware. Bok Tuong Khin even felt surprised that his sister, who once evolved, could awaken the mythological form of Nu Oa. Her bloodline's power is stronger than everyone else's. Lin Lin nodded in agreement with this. Only when a heart full of strength protects one's beliefs can one awaken. It seems that this is who Yi Yi wants to protect until death. Suddenly, he remembered Master Dao. I want to help Fuang Hu truly control the power of Tanhua. If I take advantage of the opportunity to attack the original form of Tinha, how can I defeat Tinha with one strike? Bok Tuong Khin also said, in the past, I abandoned you. Now I have a chance to make up for past mistakes. I will try my best. Lin Nhi, you go. Lin Lin is deeply moved by the support from Master Dao. She is determined and nods, then bursts with the remaining power of Nu Oa, aiming straight at Tin Tin and Zheng Cao. No one noticed that Fuang Dao was initially swaying, but at this moment, her eyes became serious. He reaches out a hand from nothingness and pushes Lin Lin far away. A hand appeared from nowhere, pushing Lin Lin far away. Fuang Hung also got angry, saying, it's bad if you ruined my good work. As Lin Lin was thrown out of the world. In the sky, a lost star also shone. This is when Fuang Hua's figure swayed once again. He looked at Lin Tin Ha very sincerely. It is indeed the inheritor of the power of divine ascension. If she repeats the previous method, I am sure I will die at her hands. Immediately, everyone in the courtyard fell silent. Then Fuang Hu fell silent. You can't deceive me anymore. Can you? It's a pity that Lin Tin Ha didn't know that everything just now was a play by Fuang Hu to deceive more power of the divine ascension from himself. He stared at Fuang Hu without falling into the common mistake of villains, not saying a word and then running away. At this moment, Lin Lin also said, thank you for helping. You not only saved my younger sister but also helped us repel such a powerful enemy. Please accept our gratitude. However, Fuang Hu directly said, don't thank me. The people of the seventh sect also said, what's his attitude? If it weren't for our help, he wouldn't have been able to defeat the Emperor Dog. From these words, Hua Nhui replied, I think helping is almost correct. Do you know if it weren't for the disturbance of your divine women, the Holy One would have swallowed up all the power of Lin Tin Ha long ago. Then he wouldn't have been able to escape. It was only because of the disturbance of your divine women that Lin Tin Ha was able to escape. Deceit. What help did we women offer at this point? Hua Nhui explained. The true name of the divine stone is Bayan He Lin. His ability is to split into parts. The split parts do not die, the body does not regenerate. Lin Tam Ha just sacrificed the body. Then it will be reborn on the split body. If I am not mistaken, he has already arrived at the palace. Initially, the Holy One only wanted to swallow up the power of the divine ascension. He just needed to swallow up all the power of the divine ascension. He wouldn't be able to use this ability anymore. But now everything was messed up by your women. You say, did you help Lin Lin? Upon hearing this, felt more regret and apologized continuously to Fuang Hu. He wasn't too angry as he knew he couldn't kill Lin Tin Ha today no matter how much power of divine ascension he swallowed. From Lin Tam has dangerous retreat. And the immediate action of running away immediately showed that the opponent was not a brave warrior but lacked strategy. On the contrary, this person was extremely cautious. Such a person, even when deceived, would never exhaust all the power of the divine ascension. Seeing himself as a tomb. In a moment, he destroyed all the colorful cults. Lam Tam and coldly said, it turns out today is the day we three women come together. But the women in white, Lin Lin, completely disregarded Lam Tam and in that moment, the light of life shone on the ground, the terrifying power dissolved before becoming a reality. In this light, the long, slender legs of the woman began to transform into a giant serpent tail. A powerful divine force spread across Lin Lin's body. Simply by closing the door for a period, he can break through. The green time has been divided into a large half, with only a small portion remaining connected. Of course, if we talk about the greatest achievement, it is the green bead in the body. Nurtured by a large amount of the power of the flower god. After forming the Bayan He Lin bead, Fuang Hu discovered that there are many Bayan flowers in this world. Most grow wild in Trung Nguyen, Kang Lang Kingdom. The Bayan He Lin bead and those Bayan flowers have a weak connection. Finally, it has fully formed. Even absorbing too much of the power of Bayan He Lin has become like a truly powerful energy bead. At present, he also understands the real key to creating the energy bead. Along with the formation of the Bai and He Lin bead, Phương Hưu found that there are many Bai and flowers in this world. Most grow wild in Trung Nguyen, Kang Lang Kingdom. The Bai and He Lin bead and those Bai and flowers have a weak connection. Therefore, he can easily sense the existence of the opponent. He can even feel every second and minute in the divine Kag Nu No, the appearance of the Bai Wei flowers. Feeling the secret of the Hak Lin command. In Phương Heu's heart, he began to speculate and doubt why there are Bai Wei flowers in the divine Kag Nu No. Perhaps Hak Lin Bai Wei intentionally left it because the divine Kag Nu No is eating every hour and minute and not afraid of anything. Hak Lin Bai Wei took the opportunity to absorb his many split parts because the divine Kag Nu No finally concentrated in the divine Kag Nu No. The last absorption of nutrients turned the divine Kag Nu No into his split. This plan may have lasted thousands of years, finally because they are both demon gods, turning a peer into a split. This is not easy at all, and the reason Hak Lin Bai Wei is related to Lin Tin Hai is probably because he discovered the divine Kag Nu No in the divine Kag Nu No, intending to take the powerful divine Kag Nu No of the female sage. Indeed, it is the benefit of the winning side in the struggle between the female sage and the divine Kag Nu No. Always influencing each other, facing each other. While Hak Lin Bai Wei hides in the dark and infiltrates quietly, perhaps Lin Tin and the sudden attack on the queen where there must be the seduction of Hak Lin Bai Wei. Finally, the female sage, the divine Kag Nu No, always had the ability to resist the invasion of the divine Kag Nu No. Don't forget that the divine Kag Nu No is still alive while the female sage is dead. That is why Hak Lin Bai Wei will help Lin Tin Hai kill the female sage afterwards. If not, the female sage and the divine Kag Nu No will always be able to resist the divine Kag Nu Nhos invasion. Don't forget that the divine Kag Nu No is still alive while the female sage is dead. That is why Hak Lin Bai Wei will help Lin Tin Hai kill the female sage afterwards. If not, the female sage and the divine Kag Nu No. Using the power of the No God to create powerful clones to occupy the No God, thereby controlling the No God. With the authority of the Dark Alliance, Phương Hưu clearly knows the help of the No God in creating strong clones. As long as there is strong vitality, theoretically, countless unlimited clones can be created. Meanwhile, under the attack from the weak appearance of Hai Anju, Lin and others deeply realized their mistakes, feeling ashamed. They fought together, and after the battle, Phương Dao was still by Phương Heu's side. Lin does not hastily leave, but gently advises. She wants Phương Dao and Phương Hưu to join together in the sacred exchange White Idol. She even directly reveals the truth of having killed Phương Dao in the past, hoping to clarify the misunderstanding. Beloved, before, when I killed you, it was not my intention. I have been in pain for 10 years since you disappeared. At that time, while fleeing from the palace, both of my younger sisters were bitten by poisonous snakes, and with my strength at that time, I could only save one of you. My older sister begged me to save her, but I refused because she was older and had long been awakened to the lineage of the No female since childhood. Her vitality was very strong. Chi ko the ku duok mo noi trong hai noi ki du kai gai em kai zong nai ni kai fi ku em nung kai da tu choi vi kai gai lon hun va da tin go voi dong mao nu no tu lao suk song rat man me. I haven't awakened yet, with a weak body. Even if the poison is removed, it may be difficult for me to survive, so I chose your sister. Your sister doesn't want me to say that even if there is only one chance. She wants to use it to save you. Both are the children of the one I love. I don't want to give up on anyone. Phương Dao still maintains an emotionless face no matter what is said. The fact that Lin killed him remains. Bok Tuong Khin continues to speak because I didn't follow the wishes of your sister, forcing him to detoxify and saying that as long as there is Nhos blood, there will be a chance to rule the No Gods. Just need to rule the No Gods. Later there will be a chance to reincarnate you. That's why I accepted the reality. As for why I killed him, that's also my opinion after deciphering. My power has severely weakened. Not enough to protect both of your sisters. If he stays, Lam Tam and that creature will surely exploit his blood, and his hand has detoxifying medicine. Then he will endure torture without a soul. That creature can do anything. So I propose to kill him later when your sister takes on the role of New Wantan. They will resurrect him. Your sister said he has been afraid of pain since he was a child, so she did it herself. But no one expected that when he was on the brink of death, he would awaken. The blood of New Wantan. Wife dies. Son lives. Lin couldn't hold back tears just thinking about how much her sister has endured over the years in the royal palace wilderness. He felt like a knife cutting his heart. But now it's too late. He approached wanting to hug Phương Dao, but Phương Dao avoided, Emotionless Phuong Dao left because Pham Hu had left. Pham Hu didn't care about these meaningless things. He always studies the Lin Law. Even though he can't activate it with his soul right now, he can still use some basic abilities like the power of Bok Dok Bat Nham that the 8 mysterious gods bring. This may be related to the white linked axis that has been attached to this world for thousands of years. Its personality has also gently touched this world, but compared to the influence of Dao Tiet and Nuon, it is still much weaker. So there are not many external manifestations. Now he will test the abilities of the Lin Law clone. Looking at Pham Hu and Phuong Dao from a distance, Lang Lang's eyes turned red. He knew his sister still hadn't forgiven him. Bai Hong Tan said to rest a bit. She has hated him for 10 years. This grudge cannot be resolved with just a few words. In fact, he has one more thing to say. Besides the reasons above, there is another reason why he chose Lin Lin, that is, Lin Lin resembles his mother. This is a bit of selfishness from Bok Tuong Fong. But no one noticed that. Therefore, there was not much external appearance. Now he will test the ability of the Law of Dark Alliance, looking ahead with Phuong Hu and Phuong Dao. Lin Lin's eyes turned red, realizing that his sister still hadn't forgiven him. Bok Hong Tan gently comforted him, suggesting he rest for a while. He resents her for 10 years. The hatred cannot be resolved with just a few words. In fact, he has one more thing to say. When choosing Lin Lin, besides the reasons above, there is another reason. That is, Lin Lin looks like his mother. This is a bit of selfishness from Bok Tuong Fong. But no one noticed that. When Phuong Dao turned and left, although there was no emotion on her face, a tear quietly fell from her eyes. Phuong Hu at this point abruptly severed his arm using flesh and blood to nurture his clone. Phuong Hu looked intently at his clone, relying on his current sensory ability to observe. He could not distinguish between himself and his clone except for the strength. Everything was entirely the same. The strength of the clone depends on the strength of oneself, with the clone's strength equivalent to how much power the original has. This clone in front of him currently only has the strength equivalent to someone who has undergone one enhancement. Phuong Hu did not give too much power to the clone because he is currently in a crucial period of his third upgrade. If he gives too much power to the clone, it may affect the third upgrade. In addition, the clone also does not need too much power. Because the clone has the ability of oneself in this wild protected area, the Man ethnic group has accumulated their strength for thousands of years. Everything is available at the Thien Ko Thatch. Just a few months, the clone will be able to possess the power equivalent to Phuong Hu's current self. Phuong Hu and his clone look at each other without saying a word. Then, they split quietly into the corner to absorb the precious genius treasure. During this time, the two had no communication as the split and the original were equivalent to one unified mind. Their conversation seemed like speaking to oneself, entirely unnecessary. After that, Pham Hu also began to cultivate in preparation for his third promotion. Outside, Lang Lang and the group were attacking the Fragile Sea. Both Pham Hu and Phuong Dao were not easy people, so they could only aim arrows at the Fragile Sea. According to them, the Fragile Sea should be the one pursuing Pham Hu, as they spoke of him with great respect. They wanted to obtain information about Pham Hu from the Fragile Sea because surely a terrifying person like him had a long-standing reputation. But now suddenly appeared. Shu Nhuoc Hai seems to be closely following Phuong Hu. In his words, there was a high level of respect for Phuong Hu. They wanted to get information about Phuong Hu from Shu Nhuoc Hai's mouth because surely such a formidable person would have had a long-standing reputation. But now appeared suddenly. The Fragile Sea is the most cautious among the demigods, revealing his origin arbitrarily is instinctively opposed. He only said a few words to deceive them that he had been training deeply in the mountains before. For this reason, Ling Ling and her group knew he was stalling but had no choice but to cooperate with him. As for Tu Nhuoc Hai, he also knew they were stalling. However, he still chose to delay. Bok Tuong Kin looked at Tu, not knowing if he could restrain the power of the divine flower. And I, the saintly Vu teacher, can fight against Lam Tam without falling behind. If we cooperate to kill Lin Tin Ha, that is not an issue. I don't know if Mr. Shu can convey this to Mr. 2. I invite you and Phuong Dao to join. Ready to give the vice superintendent to show sincerity. 2 Nhuoc Hai, Vi Hai Hai Hu, Dao Tu the Dai, or wait for the divine stone to appear and then speak. Bok Tuong Kin had a slight doubt in his eyes, saying, Mr. 2, I have a question, not sure if I should ask. 2 Nhuoc Hai also said, if you want, speak up. Why do you always call Phuong Hu the divine stone? Is his title Divine Stone? 2 Nhui Hai shook his head and said it's not a title, he is Divine Stone. Bok Tuong Khin couldn't help but frown. In his thoughts, Divine Stone is a creature like a divine maiden, not Phương Hưu, who may have special abilities but cannot be compared to a divine being. 2 Nhui Hai also said that there is no need to doubt. You will understand later. At that moment, Phương Hưu also finished closing the door and appeared, followed by Phuong Dao. Ling Ling saw Phuong Dao appear and immediately wanted to find her younger sister. But after only 2 steps, she hesitated to go closer due to the painful expression. Vi Hai asked Divine Stone why he had just finished closing the door and went out. Phương Hưu calmly replied, failure in ascension. Vnhui Hai immediately panicked when he saw Lin Tam Ha emit the power of divine ascension. He was not surprised as he was now. Bok Tuong Khin speculated a bit about Phương Hưu. He is a transcendent being with a hint of the female bloodline, making him one of the strongest of this generation. A glance has revealed the true power of Phương Hưu. The stone god apologizes for stating that your blood and aura are powerful. The issue is not about strength but about the female bloodline. At that moment, Phuong Dao also reaches for his wrist but is stopped by Phương Hưu. Phuong Dao says, drinking my blood can. Phương Hưu interrupts, not necessary. Phuong Dao feels uneasy being drained of his flesh and blood, finally believing that there are those in the world who are not dependent on the female bloodline. Discovering a way to restore the soul can be accomplished. Earlier, Phuong Dao wanted to use his flesh and blood to help Phương Hưu overcome the extreme transcendence but was refused. Bok Shong Khin seems a bit uncomfortable. He always feels that Phương Hưu is hiding something. Bok Shong Kin's complex eyes continuously scan Phương Hưu and Phuong Dao. It seems he has decided something. Another way for him not to have to swallow the flesh and blood of the female descendants is by transcending. Lively Ling Nhi Bok Shong Khin. Chen Sin De Hat shook his head towards Ling Ling, seemingly reluctant to speak. Ling Ling said, it's okay. Thay Tun nodded, this is my younger sister, than Thach. He also saved her life. You can inform them. Then she turned to Phương Hưu and said. Chen Sin De Hat shook his head looking at Lin Lin, seeming hesitant to speak. Lin Lin also said that nothing happened. Thay Tu nodded, she is my sister. Phương Hưu blinked, indicating that he was the one who saved her. Let them know. Immediately after, he said to Phương Hưu. You can rely on Den Nu Y to progress. Den Nu Y is a legacy that Nu Y has built for future generations. This can be used to help future generations awaken and enhance their own blood power. When I awakened that blood power, that's when my mother led me to Den Nu Y to wake up. The old man planned to take himself to Den Nu Y when Phuong Dao is older. But it seems that ultimately the one after Nu Y arrives at Den Nu Y can receive a blessing and then help wake up or enhance their blood power. You can go with Phuong Dao to Den Nu Y. When you receive the blessing, you can cultivate with the hope of surpassing the realm. But unexpectedly, Phương Hưu mentioned an unnecessary point. Bok Tuong Khin was surprised and a bit unpredictable. He had known for a long time. This cannot happen. It is a secret passed down from generation to generation of the descendants of Nu No Yao Yao when she was young at that time. Tan Nhi never revealed it to her. Obviously, Tan Nhi is the name of Phuong Dao's mother. Fang Shu calmly arrived at the distant shrine of Nu No. The Nyat Duong mountain range is located at the exact position of the shrine, which can only be found by the descendants of Nu No. Bok Tuong Khin was very surprised and frightened. How do you know? No matter how much he thought about it, he couldn't understand why the other party knew such a secret. Although a weak appearance of Phuong Suyen, he appeared calm. To the true god, he not only knew where the shrine of Nu No was but also knew exactly where the true shrine of Nu No was located. It's just that to open the gate of the shrine, you need a sincere heart and evidence from the shrine in hand. When Phuong Dao's mother was alive, she had entered the shrine's inheritance place but couldn't control the shrine. This is because the basic requirement to control the shrine is the physique of a deity. Only a body that reaches the power of a deity can withstand the power of the deity transformation. Otherwise, it could only die from the body's explosion. Fang Shu calmly reveals the highest secret of this world. Bok Shong Khin and others are all stirred up, to the point where they feel a bit of trust in Fang Shu. There must really be something. Only Fang Shu knows in his heart. The reason he knows this is because he just died again. Earlier, he pretended to agree with the other party's request, then tricked them into revealing important information. Finally, he committed suicide, mainly because Phuong Dao was by his side. He did not want to leave a dishonest image for Phuong Dao, affecting the bond between them. Those who have experienced betrayal and suffering, honesty is vital. There is still a bit of resistance to the extent of why he opposes joining the holy sect. Clearly, we have a common enemy. Fang Shu is also discussing the sovereignty issue of the Nu No temple. After killing Lang Tin-ha, who do you think should control the new node temple? Faced with Fang Shu's question, Bok Tuong Khin replied, of course, I want Lang to control the new node temple. At that moment, a five-colored parrot flew to Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu said, Lao Li has obtained the secret that Lang Tin-ha is silently exterminating the village of Kang Lang, ready to attack to the extreme. Lang looked as if he was honoring Lang Tin-ha for a long time. It's not always silently exterminating the village, right? This time is different. Lang Tin-ha seems to have sealed. Previously, he always did it without revealing, only daring to kill some weak elderly people. But now he is killing people, even destroying remote villages. Bok Tuong Khin pondered. Now he no longer cares about wanting to attack to the extreme to achieve the status of a deity. He looked at 00 and 02. We must stop him immediately. Suddenly, if he truly reaches the extreme, there may be no more chances. 00 looked at Fang Shu. My lord, have you heard the situation? Let's stop Lang Tin-ha and save the people of Kang Lang. Fang Shu now is not stopping Lang Tin-ha. It will be too late. Who knows how many people in Kang Lang will die and be injured. For the sake of the people, please help. Bok Tuong Khin said to Fang Shu, even if you don't care about the people's interests, think about yourself and Yao Yao. There is a five-colored parrot flying to Xiao Wu. Why did you come to Lang? Xiao Wu introducing the parrot she raised for Fuang Dao. This is Xiao Wu, a spirit beast I raised with the bloodline of Nuno. Xiao Wu, the parrot, said, Lao Li has obtained the secret that Lang Tin-ha is silently exterminating the village of Kang Lang, ready to attack to the extreme. Lang seemed to be honoring Lang Tin-ha for a long time. It's not always silently exterminating the village, right? This time is different. Lang Tin-ha seems to have sealed. Previously, he always did it without revealing, only daring to kill some weak elderly people. But now he is killing people, even destroying remote villages. Bok Tuong Khin pondered. Now he no longer cares about wanting to attack to the extreme to achieve the status of a deity. He looked at 00 and 02. We must stop him immediately. Suddenly, if he truly reaches the extreme, there may be no more chances. 00 looked at Fang Shu. My lord, have you heard the situation? Let's stop Lang Tin-ha and save the people of Kang Lang. Fang Shu now is not stopping Lang Tin-ha. It will be too late. Who knows how many people in Kang Lang will die and be injured. For the sake of the people, please help. Bok Tuong Khin said to Fang Shu, even if you don't care about the people's interests, think about yourself and Yao Yao. Fang Shu now cannot not stop Lang Tin-ha. Who knows how many people in Kang Lang will die and be injured. For the sake of the people, please help. Bok Tuong Khin said to Fang Shu, even if you don't care about the people's interests, think about yourself and Yao Yao. Phương Hưu now cannot wait any longer, or else he will not be able to stop Lin Tin-ha, and the people of Thuong Lang Quoc do not know how many will die. For the sake of the people, please help. Bok Tuong came to see Phương Hưu immediately. Even if you don't care about the people of Thuong Lang, you have to think about yourself and Phuong Dao. This time, making Lin Tin-ha eat loss is in line with his spirit. On the day he reached the status of a deity, he will definitely not let you pass. Now, should we wait for his future, he will gradually destroy us. Phương Hưu has said enough. Lin Tin-ha owns the power of Hak Lin Bai Nan, and cannot be killed by immortal methods. It's useless to go. Ling worried. How can you know without trying? Maybe just looking at him swallow everyone. Phương Hưu turned and left, and Phuong Dao followed him. Ling Lin watched the shadows of the three people leaving, with a good soul, but now not holding back his anger. Bok Tuong Khin also comforted that each person has their own goals. You cannot force it. If my prediction is not wrong, they are definitely looking for the new No Temple. Ling Lin also mentioned the Thay Tun, so what should we do now? Returning to Thuong Lan Quoc cannot let Lin Tin has plan succeed. Lin also followed my advice. Thay Tun was right. Lin Nhi must be careful with Phuong Hưu. His goal is probably to have Yao Yao control the new No Temple. O Thuong Tun, I have no intention with the new No Temple. Yao Yao is my sister and also a descendant of Nuno, but Bok Tuong Khin cut off Lin Nhi's words. I know your true intentions. Both sisters are descendants of Nuno, everyone has the right to inherit the new No Temple. But don't forget that Yao Yao now sees Phuong Hưu as an order. And Phuong Hưu, with a mysterious origin and a mysterious identity, even possesses the power of two great demon gods. If the new No Temple falls into the hands of such a person, it may cause a greater disaster. Lin Nhi, remember, only you with a good soul are the most suitable to rule the new No Temple, which can bring benefits to the world. Lin also felt serious. Lin Nhi understood. Finally, both sides parted ways. Vo Nuoc Hai stayed to support my role. Fuang Hu commanded Vo Nuoc Hai, then Fuang Hu and Fuang Dao went to the Lac Nyat mountains beyond the mortal realm. On the way, he swallowed quite a few strange bodies to the limit. However, with Fuang Hu owning the Lukla, it was not a big problem. In a moment, Fuang Hu felt a vast life force within his body disappearing while the role of the court in the mortal realm was also developing, surprising Vo Nuoc Hai next to him. When reaching the level of a deity, the role of the body said that it is okay, the role of the body sent me some power. Then the role of the body used its flesh and blood to create another body. It can be seen that when the power is transferred from Fuang Hu, the number of body parts will increase sharply. The most terrifying thing is that the cultivation of the role of the body can react back to the real body. Suppose the role of the body also cultivates to the deity level of the real body. When merged, it is equivalent to doubling Fuang Hu's strength. Finally, Fuang Hu and Fuang Du reached the Lac Nyat mountains. At this point, Fuang Du suddenly felt two empty eyes looking deep into the Lac Nyat mountains, where the Nu No temple lies. The two entered the Lac Nyat mountains, and as they entered, the sky darkened. Fuang Hu distinctly felt a countless pair of eyes staring intently at him. The strangeness here is significantly more powerful than anywhere else. It seems that they have been attracted by the power of the Nu No temple, so Fuang Dao hides behind me. Hearing and hiding in the darkness behind Fuang Hu, with a white hand, lifts a bloody monkey that suddenly attacks. Fuang Hu was devoured by the monkey. Immediately, numerous bloody monkeys attacked Fuang Hu, leaping onto a tree, using their mouths to devour Fuang Hu completely. Fuang Hu and Fuang Du then descended from the tree and continued forward. Finally, they were blocked by a stone wall. The blood in my body is guiding me. The Nu Nua temple is right here. Fuang Hu looked at a stone wall with no action. Although with his current strength, he could easily destroy the stone wall in front of him. He knew that the Nu Nua temple might be hidden behind the stone wall. Surely it's in another space. Finally, when Nha Dao, under the guidance of blood, placed a small hand on the stone wall, a multicolored light burst forth from the stone wall, enveloping both of them. When Fuang Hu opened his eyes, he realized he was in a square with a statue of Nu Nua. Fuang Dao, under the guidance of blood, placed a small hand on the stone wall. Immediately, a burst of colorful light emanated from the stone wall, covering both of them. When Fuang Hu opened his eyes, he realized he was in a square with a statue of the goddess Nu Nua. Yila Fang Yao, upon seeing the statue, was astonished. His eyes seemed to be affected by a divine power. Looking at the statue, the mouth seems to say, Mother Nu Nua. Fuang Hu carefully examined the statue of the goddess Nu Nua. He discovered something strange. It is the long-lost spirit of his own that seems to be starting to pulsate. There is a feeling that the spirit will recover, but upon closer inspection, everything pulsates, but it's an illusion. He frowned. With his current power, he has complete control over his body. It can't be any confusion like this. It seems that someone has placed a large speaker in front of him. The entire temple began to shake. Suddenly, millions of colorful pillars of divine ash exploded from the statue. When activated, the divine statue emitted an irresistible force, but was cut off by Lang Tin's magic card, making it easy to sever the connection between the divine statue and the divine card. Finally, he found a way to restore his spirit. On this world, only the Nu Nua temple can stop the attraction of the divine statue. When Lang Tin Ha uses a magic card to cut the connection between the divine statue and the divine card, it is the best evidence. Only by using the Nu Nua temple to stop the attraction of the divine statue. And in the whole world, only the Nu Nua temple can do this. When Lang Tin Ha uses a magic card to cut the connection between the divine statue and the divine card, it is the best evidence. Only by using the Nu Nua temple to stop the attraction of the divine statue. There will be a chance to restore spirits. The reason he went to the temple of the female outsider is because there is a spiritual need for restoration. This is because the temple of the female outsider will eliminate the attraction of the corrupted god. After many gruesome deaths, he created the law of life. At that moment, Fuang Hu came to the Nu Nua temple to find a way to restore his spirit. He asked, how many more do I need to reach the peak I only? The goddess Oa is worshipped, and within the shrine is the legacy left by the goddess Nua for future generations. However, to activate the legacy, the profile of the goddess Oa is needed. Depending on the profile of the goddess Oa, Fuang Hu looks at the thoughtful gaze. Fuang Dao nods and then goes to the foot of the goddess Oa statue. Following the guidance of her bloodline, she bows down before the ground and utters mysterious and unclear words. Phương Hưu stands beside and listens attentively to this divine language, similar to the experience of a divine beast. Communicating with the divine through rituals is a form of ceremony. Unlike the Thuk Nu Oa ritual, it clearly does not require offerings. However, the constraints are much stricter than the Thuk ritual. Only the descendants of the Nu Oa, Phuong Ye's voice becomes more vague, like a cherry blossom. But it seems someone has placed a loudspeaker in front of the main hall. The temple begins to shake. Suddenly, the statue of the goddess Nu Oa explodes millions of colorful divine columns. The divine columns immediately fly into the sky, dyeing the sky in various colors. In the deep sky, a vortex slowly formed. Phương Hưu looked up at the sky and felt tremendous pressure. He has met many gods, whether they be celestial beings or demon gods, but this pressure. Is this the divine power of Nu Oa that cannot be compared to any other deity? Even when humans no longer exist, they still feel such a terrifying dominance. In ancient times, what could be so powerful that even Nu Oa collapsed exactly at this moment? Phương Hưu is contemplating. At that time, a multicolored vortex was changing. Only seen in the vortex was a bright multicolored column, resembling divine blood covering Phuong Dao's petite body. In the blink of an eye, Phuong Dao's whole body was enveloped in multicolored light, every inch of skin wrapped in colorful hues, a supreme divine breath. The power of the bloodline within him is now being ignited. From this moment on, his slender white legs slowly transform into a multicolored snake tail, his genius-colored eyes, young girl's multicolored dress fluttering like a holy spirit, a cold and majestic beauty. However, his eyes slowly close as if falling asleep. When the bright multicolored column appears, Phương Hưu also does not sit still. He sits next to the bright multicolored column, his mouth wide open, each colorful strand being slowly swallowed up. The chalice of the supreme maniac operates frantically, and the multicolored light enters the four wings, continuously strengthening his body. This enhancement is not fierce but rather gentle and very soft. Phương Hưu can clearly feel it. My body is undergoing some strange transformation in the multicolored light. It seems to contain countless traces of life, and those traces are enhancing my body. Now I need to understand those life traces that ultimately constitute the law of life. Phương Hưu quickly grasps the law of life minute by minute, second by second, as he understands the 1102 laws of the white blood purification process. Phương Heu's transformation ends. Phương Hưu slowly opens his eyes, sensing the change in time, realizing that almost a month has passed by without notice. Indeed, cultivation knows no day or night. Seconds later, he sacrifices himself in front of Phuong Dao. The shrine of Nu Oa opens its doors. Phuong Dao is once again enveloped in the multicolored light, continuing his cultivation. After hundreds of deaths, Phương Hưu finally succeeds in embracing the law of life. It is undeniable that using the power of Nu Oa to fully understand the law of life is the best way, because Nu Oa controls all life. The divine power of her almost directly reaches the essence of life. After understanding the law of life, Phương Hưu sacrifices himself. Beside the multicolored light column, Phuong Dao, where Phương Hưu is outside this time, he boldly reaches out his left hand into the multicolored light column. Crystallizing the law of life, understanding the law of life, he can now absorb the miraculous power of Nu Oa like Phuong Dao, and this absorption has no effect on Phuong Dao because behind Nu Oa's power stands the goddess Nu Oa. Even if Phương Hưu self-destructs, he cannot shake the essence of the goddess Nu Oa, and the end time of bestowing blessings is when Phuong Dao's blood completes the actual transformation. In other words, when Phuong Dao completes the time transformation, the bestowal of blessings will end. Therefore, Phương Heu's actions will not affect the transformation process of Phuong Dao. It only slightly prolongs the time of the transformation process. 1 year later, Phương Hưu finally succeeded in crystallizing the law of life, and in other words, when Phuong Nagu completes the transformation, happiness will end, so it will not affect Phương Heu's transformation. He may not transform much, just stretching out the transformation time a bit. A year later, Phương Hưu finally succeeded, stopping the life commandment, completing the third transcendence. At this point, his body has reached the level of a 7th-ranked deity, and Phuong Dao also benefits greatly. Under the blessing of Nu Oa, his bloodline's power is once again elevated, even completing his second promotion. Although both have made progress. However, they did not leave the Nu Oa temple but chose to stay because the power of Nu Oa has just dissipated, with the remaining part here far surpassing the outside, and both need to stabilize their cultivation to adapt to the explosive power. At this moment, Ling Ling suddenly collapsed in a glamorous state at the Nu Oa temple. He saw Phương Hưu for the first time and immediately called out to him, asking for his help. Phương Hưu calmly looked at him. I can understand what happened, but what I didn't expect was that you could actually escape. Ling Ling, with a face full of pain, this year, my master and I have been leading the holy church in endless battles with Lang Tin Ha, causing countless people to rebel due to Lang Tin Ha's brutality. Phương Hưu also said, "It seems that Lam Tin Ha has created the divine body of Ling Ling." Ling Ling bitterly nods. Yes, with the divine body, no one can be his opponent. Even my master has been caught now. I have tried my best to deploy the real new Oa body to shatter and escape. Speaking of which, Ling Ling blinks at Phương Hưu. Lam Tin Ha forced me to lead him to the new Oa shrine. If not, he will threaten the master in front of the public. There are only 5 days left until the day of slaughter. Please ensure to save the master. Yao Yao, please help me. Phương Dao looks at Ling Ling in distress, an emotion appearing in her eyes, but she doesn't say anything, looking at Phương Hưu as if waiting for his decision. Phương Hưu gently responds, "This matter is simple. If he uses the life of the white idol, Khin, to threaten you to search for the new Oa shrine, then all you need to do is lead him to the shrine." Ling Ling also says, but once Lam Tin Ha enters the new Oa shrine with his divine credentials, she may unlock the new Oa inheritance and receive the divine power. At that time, the world will end, and my master also said never give in. Do you want to save Khin or save the world? I will not leave Lam Tin Ha to find the new Oa shrine, and the emperor will not agree either. When the whole world ends, my master also said never give in. Do you want to save Khin or save the world? I will not leave Lam Tin Ha to find the new Oa shrine, and the emperor will not agree either. Have you ever thought about something? Why can you escape Lam Tin Ha, who may be deliberately allowing you to escape and monitoring you to the new Oa shrine? Then he shakes his head and says it's not possible. I have the blood of new Oa. Regarding Lam Tin has evidence on his body, he will sense it. If he follows me, I will definitely detect him. If he doesn't follow you but leaves a trace on your body, the trace will be blocked by the new Oa shrine. It turns out you have a bit of intelligence, but not much. Lam Tin Ha can always sense your location through traces, but when you suddenly appear in a certain area, the trace disappears. Do you think he won't be able to find you anymore? Ling Ling's face suddenly whitens as the exact location where the trace disappears naturally is the new Oa shrine. But all of this may just be your speculation. Lam Tin Ha hasn't finished speaking when Phương Hưu puts 2 fingers into his wound on his arm. Gently pulling a strand, Ling Ling cries out in pain, only to see a black seed in his hand. At that moment, outside the new Oa shrine, Lang Tam and Nin Hu Dao, the obedient daughter, know that you are in the shrine. Open the shrine now. If not, your lover's body will be missing pieces of flesh. Bai Shangqing hastily tells Ling Nhi not to open the door for him to enter the temple. Before he can finish, a terrifying scream echoes, indicating Ling Lin is being tortured beyond recognition, causing Lin Lin to suddenly panic. Completely spiritless, not knowing what to do. Despite choosing to protect the world, when the Lord is suffering, he feels like a knife in his heart. Outside, another scream is heard. If it's not Tu Nhuoc Hai, who is in seclusion under the mountain, then who could it be? Today, I will show you how to die without a trace. These are the words of Tu Nhuoc Hai, who has been captured. Phương Hưu is not surprised by Tu Nhuoc Hai's misfortune, as luck has never been on his side. When hiding in Ban Chao, he had encountered himself on the other side. To avoid pursuit, he bumped into the Heaven's Thunder River. He still wants to escape, but it's not necessarily the deepest part of the other side where he met Thao Ti. Hence, now bumping into the Lang Tin River, he is not surprised. It seems like both you and Phương Hưu are outsiders. Not surprisingly, the emperor, following the words of Lin Tam, considers the other side to be a higher-class world. Those following Phương Hưu are in the hands of the emperor. Whoever knows the truth should quickly open the door for the emperor's daughters. Lin Tam, you should give up that dream. Who is the true god who can be threatened by you today? No matter who your true god is, you cannot reach Phương Hưu with confidence as he steps out of the temple to meet Lin Tam. And the weak white pawn in his hand, Lin Tam, coldly says, I never expected it would be you, the true god. Tu Nhuoc Hai's expression is both shaken and complex. And the weak white pawn in Lin Tam's hands coldly said unexpectedly, truly unexpectedly. Tram thought that the person who would step out would be Tram's daughters, but unexpectedly, it was the true supreme being, Tu Nhuoc Hai. Your expression is both stirring and complex. I never expected Phương Hưu to act this way. It seems like Phương Hưu wants to challenge me to the end. Today, let me show you what true power is. Phương Hưu remained calm as he interrupted. Even Ling Tam is unsure of what you are trying to say. Phương Dao has opened the gates of the goddess temple, now you can freely enter. A hint of doubt flashed in Ling Tam's eyes. Humans often become more suspicious the easier they receive something. Is there a trap awaiting? He looked at Phương Hưu as if trying to find a weakness on his face. Phương Hưu furrowed his brows slightly and said, "You want the goddess temple come in then?" Beside him, White Flag panicked, "You can't let him in. Lin Nhi, activate the goddess temple scene, it's not useful. Lin has already been tied up by his younger sister." Phương Hưu didn't explain further, he turned and walked into the goddess temple. Ling Tam stared at Phương Heu's disappearing figure. His face clouded with hesitation, he finally decided to step in. To be safe, he held White Flag and 2 Nhuoc high tightly, entering the goddess temple directly. Even if there's a trap, these two can still protect him. Once inside the goddess temple, the traps and attacks that Ling Tam had planned were no longer relevant. Only Lin remained tied up, with Phương Hưu and Phuong Dao standing to the side. He remained vigilant, keeping an eye on Phương Hưu and his companions, but his peripheral vision constantly observed the statue of the goddess. The faint sound of beating from the statue made him anxious, fearing that the opponent might trigger a deadly attack suddenly. He kept a wary eye on Phương Hưu and his group, but his peripheral vision continued to assess the idolized image of the female deity. The subtle pressure from the deity statue made him fearful, worried that the opponent might have some hidden secrets. Suddenly triggering a subsequent strike left by the female deity to autonomously attack the enemy with a lethal blow. His spiritual senses fully recovered, causing his spirit Heian to become frenzied. Just before, Bai Xiangtian had harmonized with spirit Heian, merging with the divine power of the female deity at its peak, but the attack was intercepted by spirit Lin. Quickly approaching the real image of the female deity. Immediately transforming into a mythical form, half human, half snake, spirit Lin promptly launched an attack with a long multicolored spear formed from multicolored light breaking through space. Such a powerful attack caused spirit Heian's doppelganger to be defenseless, no longer using a finger but a hand to directly ward off the opponent's attack. Instead, the entire palm directly deflected the opponent's attack. Bai Xiangtian stared at Phương Hưu, knowing full well that only he and the other could not break the two doppelgangers with semi-divine bodies. Reluctantly, he glanced at Phương Hưu. As a result, both Phương Hưu and Black Weakness sat down, completely indifferent to what was happening around them. To others, they seemed so, but only Phương Hưu and Black Weakness knew that they were trying to rapidly recover their strength. Phương Hưu paid no attention to Lam Tam and controlling the forbidden female deity. As long as he restored his soul, even if the opponent had two forbidden deities, he was still confident of winning. Ultimately, controlling the forbidden deity was not real life. Since entering the heavenly altar divine realm, his power had skyrocketed, and his body had been significantly enhanced. He also possessed 5 divine laws, 1 black union law, 1 life law, totaling 7 divine laws. Although he couldn't yet demonstrate how his strength had increased, it was because there was no soul. Unable to unleash the power of the divine law. Before having these laws, he could kill half-gods, but now he is in a stalemate. Phương Hưu and Ha Nhuoc stand still, while Lam Tam is attacking wildly. Phuong Dao just stands by. Phương Hưu didn't command him, so he didn't move. In the large, round black and white eyes, the reason behind Phương Heu's actions was clear. It was the captivating power of Lam Tam, the power of the new No Than. From now on, there is no political opponent left in the world. Bok Tuong Hang's 2 faces suddenly turned pale, filled with a deadly gray. But they seemed to remember something, quickly looking towards Phương Hưu and Hak Nhuoc, their eyes containing a glimmer of hope. Now, they only hope that what Phương Hưu and Hak Nhuoc say is true. Lam Tin Ha had merged with the forbidden Nu No Than. How had they recovered? Hak Nuoc provided a disappointing answer, only restoring 3 parts. Then, they looked towards Phương Hưu, seeing him slowly rise, calm and determined, but still lacking something. 2 Nhuec High hastily asks Phương Hưu, "Sir, how much more do I need to recover to the peak? I am only missing 3 parts of you." Phương Hưu replies straightforwardly, then directly uses the mouth thought to swallow 2 Nhuec High's soul. 2 Nhuec High cries out in pain, then only feels 3 parts of power in his body rushing madly towards Phương Heu's body. In just a moment, his newly restored strength has been devoured by the golden light. He falls to the ground with a pale face. Only at this moment does he understand that the 3 parts the god spoke of were not real strengths but the 3 parts of his own strength that were swallowed up. Indeed, it is possible to replenish the strength within oneself. Not in vain is Phương Hưu called a great man. His control of power is extremely precise. When the power returns fully from his body, Phương Hưu emits a tremendous unimaginable power. The space vibrates at that moment. The heavens and the earth sway due to the captivating power from above. Not in vain is he called a god at this moment. Phương Hưu stands calmly, his face calm, his fair skin shining like jade, dressed in black flowing with the wind. The reverberating sound, his tall figure reaching forward, his eyes deep and endless. Lam Tam Ha looks at Phương Hưu, saying, "Is this why you are so confident? That's why you didn't stop the divine ban and the no goddess, because you believed you could defeat them." Phương Hưu remains calm. Lam Tam Ha truly does not know what heaven and earth are. How can you be so cold-blooded? How can you imagine the deceptive power of the no goddess die? When he prepares to fight, Phương Hưu bids farewell. "When I was only missing one Lu Li." Lin Xinxia looked at it lightly, not understanding the meaning, but he soon understood, only to see Fang Hu talking about his transgender. His words were like a red command of heaven and earth, spreading infinitely in the air. Meanwhile, the huge purple light inside the body was the power of the divine flower Mingxing, and Dozi immediately sensed that Fang Wei was using the power of the divine flower. More than 100 of Fang Hua's clones completely disappeared, turning into a whole force that spilled into him. Fang Wei actually reached the peak of the original level 7 green body, directly transforming into a level 8 demigod body and a terrifying half-blood chi like a boundless and majestic ocean. In addition, these clones also gave him a large amount of time along with the power of time flooding into his body. The constant command inside Fang Wei was about to explode because of the last bulge at this moment, completely separated from one that had been divided into two. An indescribable transformation appeared silently. Fang Hua's body seemed to have a cyclical fluctuation between time and the universe. Lin Tam Ha sneered. "Surely, what are you planning to do? The reason is to return and enhance your body. How can you compare to the divine body of ours? We have said that after possessing the Hoi Nok Nu Kak, no one is our match in this world." The cold, bright eyes of Lin Tam Ha exuded a fierce chill. Taking a step, a punch aimed at Phương Hưu. Phương Hưu furrowed his brows slightly. "Is this the power of the new guy? Then you think the new guy then rules all life?" But Lin Tam Ha's attack reveals a different strength. Though conflicted, he didn't hesitate, and 5 fleshy ribs immediately brightened, revealing a horrifying force surging out, creating a huge black hole before his body. A gaping chasm faced the power of the new guy then, but Phương Hua's swallowing force couldn't overpower Lin Tam Ha. Laughing triumphantly, Lin Tam Ha explained the secret of the creative laws of life, the true power of the new guy then. Even if he could consume the consuming body, he couldn't consume more, creating life endlessly in a moment. Phương Hưu seemed to understand why the new guy then became one of the top ancient deities. His divine power seemed to transcend the ordinary gods, deriving his power from the laws of life. But surpassing those laws was arrogance. The black hole of Phương Hưu burst the next minute, attacking him. His body shattered. Ling Ling and others looked intently at Lin Tin Ha and Lin Tam Ha were filled with disappointment. Truly, the false gods. Only I am the one true god in the world. Even if he regains his strength, it is meaningless. In the end, he will be crushed by me without a trace left. But in the next moment, Phương Hưu appeared before everyone, laughing. "Have you had enough?" Lin Tam Ha shocked. "This cannot be happening. He is already dead. I clearly felt his breath leave this world long ago, and under the constraint of the divine flower, he had no chance of transmigration. What is this? His spirit shattered directly because of Phương Hưu. He was always cautious when facing Phương Hưu, but unclear as to why he spoke out against his power. Even though he killed him, the result was that he remained intact. No one can bear this blow. Phương Hưu gently said, "You killed me, indeed, you killed me, at this moment, and I am myself now." The words left Lin Tam Ha's face perplexed. This moment, the previous moment, completely incomprehensible. Tu Da Hai was also surprised by the deceitful power of Phương Hưu. Only Phương Hưu could possess such terrifying power. Bok Tuong Khin couldn't contain his curiosity and asked, "What power is this?" only to hear Shu Da Hai fervently say, "Understanding unclear." Bok Tuong Khin immediately fell silent, thinking to himself, "If you don't understand, why be excited?" Tu Da Hai also said, "Exactly, because not understanding cannot be explained. It only further shows the greatness of Phương Hưu." Everyone in the arena fell silent. Lin Tam Ha shouted, "Phương Hưu, stop pretending to be a divine spirit. If I can't kill you once, then twice." He delivered a powerful punch directly towards Phương Hưu. Phương Hua's image vanished once again. All attacks were destroyed in an instant. An image emerged from the void, standing silently. Lin Xin was shocked to the point of unbelievable. Magic is definitely magic. He frantically concentrated his energy from the Shen Kai as if he wanted to free himself from his non-existent magic. Fang Wei stared at himself and whispered, "This is the feeling of returning from the timeline, isn't it?" It's really miraculous. Actually, what Fang Wei just said is true. Facing the terrifying power of Nu Oa divine force, he actually died because Nu Oa is not like ordinary gods. That power can't resist. The reason he can avoid any injury is because he has the ability to change the times. To put it simply, Fang Wei died at this second, but Fang Wei didn't absorb the damage in the previous second. He switched places with the timeline, somewhat similar to the clone of the Black Tiger. After killing himself, he can respawn on the clone. The principle is the same. The only difference is that Phương Hưu was reborn on himself from the second he possessed two time symbols and combined with the life symbol, giving birth to a new ability. This ability has made him truly immortal. Even the gods cannot kill him unless someone can cross the timeline and erase all versions of him on the timelines. Then he looked at Lam Tam Ha. Has the spell been released? Lam Tam Ha frowned, unable to find traces of the spell, and replied, "Who are you?" The image of Phương Hưu disappeared into the void. The two-time symbols provided him with a speed increase of 20 times. Needless to say, no one can be faster than him. Phương Hưu appears in front of Man Go Ha, continuously punching, turning Man Go Ha into minced meat. This is the truth. The reason why Phương Hưu and Hai Yu are never in a hurry, even waiting for Lam Tin Ha to merge with the gods of Nu Oa under such pressure. If Lam Tin Ha does not merge with the gods of Nu Oa, he may not be qualified to fight. He knows you are not dead. Phương Hưu looks down at the minced meat under his feet and calmly says, "When do you feel that I didn't kill you? I am just testing new abilities. Right now, I am just testing physical strength." Lam Tin Ha cannot distinguish whether Phương Hưu is lying or telling the truth, but he dare not try, lest he be randomly killed. In the next moment, Lam Tin Ha creates two clones holding Lin Lin tightly. When Lam Tin Ha reports to Phương Hưu, "Don't act irresponsibly. Their lives are all in my hands. If you dare to act again, I will make each of them die in front of you." Lin Lin, whose spirit had been destroyed, began to slowly recover. In that instant, Phương Hưu had already absorbed her spirit and stepped into the temple of the gods of Nu Oa. Immediately, her spirit was absorbed. "Their lives, both of them, are in my hands. If you dare to act again." Phương Hưu furrowed his brows slightly. "This is the temple of the gods of Nu Oa. Now you can use the evidence of the gods to inherit here. Don't hesitate. Don't think I don't know what you're doing." This made Lam Tam Ha feel puzzled because he had just thought about it. In a moment, he couldn't understand Phương Heu's intentions. "When do you intend that I cannot kill you? I am just testing new abilities. Right now, I am just testing physical strength." Lam Tam Ha cannot distinguish whether Phương Hưu is lying or telling the truth, but he dares not try, lest he be randomly killed. In the next moment, Lam Tam Ha creates two clones holding Lin Lin tightly. When Lam Tam Ha reports to Phương Hưu, "Don't act irresponsibly. Their lives are all in my hands. If you dare to act again, I will make each of them die in front of you." Lin Lin, whose spirit had been destroyed, began to slowly recover. When Lam Tam Ha reports to Phương Hưu, "Don't act irresponsibly. Their lives are all in my hands. If you dare to act again, I will make each of them die in front of you." Lin Lin, whose spirit had been destroyed, began to slowly recover. When Lam Tam Ha reports to Phương Hưu, "Don't act irresponsibly. Their lives are all in my hands. If you dare to act again, I will make each of them die in front of you." Lin Lin, whose spirit had been destroyed, began to slowly recover. When Lam Tam Ha reports to Phương Hưu, "Don't act irresponsibly. Their lives are all in my hands. If you dare to act again, I will make each of them die in front of you." Lin Lin, whose spirit had been destroyed, began to slowly recover. When Lam Tam Ha reports to Phương Hưu, "Don't act irresponsibly. Their lives are all in my hands. If you dare to act again, I will make each of them die in front of you." Lin Lin, whose spirit had been destroyed, began to slowly recover. How can an ordinary person let others kill them unless there's a trap? Yes, there must be a trap. Lam Tin Ha also said he wanted to deceive the army to kill them. If your reasoning is correct, then in the temple of Nu Oa, there must be means to protect the descendants of Nu Oa. As long as you attack them, those means will be activated. You won't be easily deceived. Phương Hưu remained silent. He did not expect to be so honest, but the other party thought there was a trap. He truly wanted to innovate and activate the legacy. When approaching the supreme god of Nu Oa, after the supreme god of Nu Oa appears, the powerful divine power will isolate the greedy power in this area. At that moment, he can restore his spirit. If they don't believe us, we will leave the temple of the gods of Nu Oa. You activate the legacy by yourself. After speaking, Phương Hưu will leave with Phuong Dao and threaten to kill the two if they dare to leave the temple of Nu Oa. He dare not let Phương Hưu leave because Phương Heu's calm and bizarre demeanor is too unsettling. It's like wanting to quickly activate the legacy of the goddess if there is no trap. It is not even possible to kill him. It is possible that after they leave the temple of the goddess of God will collapse at that time. I will be permanently sealed in the temple of the goddess. People are always suspicious in the face of abnormalities. Especially the smart people. Lin Xingzhe is obviously a smart person, silently killing the queen for many years, facing the direct threat of fleeing. The more he understands the principle of capsizing the boat in the narrow channel. Knowing how to solve the problem when you're 90 out of 100 miles in. What do you think not killing us doesn't let us go? Perhaps it's only here to see. Lam Tin has face darkened, unable to discern the quick and creative intelligence. Until now, he still couldn't guess Phương Hui's thoughts. But from the first result, the other party's purpose is definitely to stop him from getting the supreme god of Neoa. Now, if he stays still, there must be a trap. But the supreme god of Neoa is right in front of him, he cannot bear not to take it. Everyone steps back, further away from the deity statue. To give more confidence to Lam Tin Ha, Phương Hu pulls Phương Dao and Deep Zero, pushing them into a corner of the Neoa temple. But Lam Tin Ha still feels uneasy, dividing himself into two parts. These divisions weren't in vain but stood tightly, waiting for Phương Hu. As Lam Tin Ha approached the statue of Neoa, he took a deep breath, ready to prove his divine power. However, as he raised his hand, he suddenly turned around. Seeing Phương Hu and his allies standing still, their appearance made him uneasy. The most frightening thing was that he could sense some expectation in Phương Hui's eyes. What was his death expecting from Phương Hu? Lam Tin Ha wished he could kill Phương Hu now. However, considering the solemn appearance of the Neoa, then, violent actions might be punished by the sacred. In many temples, fighting was prohibited, seen as an offense to the divine. The realization dawned on him that they were likely trying to lure him into activating the divine gate. If not for the usual circumstances, they would have attacked him long ago to stop him. Why weren't they attacking now? It was clear they were trying to lure him into a trap, making him trigger the divine gate to strike him. Both were shocked. Lam Tin Ha released Bok Tuong Kin and Hai, weak and afraid to leave, fearing something sinister. As he drove everyone 10 miles away from him, Ling Ling and the others watched Lin intently. The divine stone spirit from the statue of the goddess Nuwa begins to manifest and flies towards Lam Tin Ha. Lam Tin Ha is worried not to let her take the divine statue of Nuwa. However, Phương Hu pays no attention and just stands quietly on the sidelines. In the end, the divine artifacts fall into the hands of Lam Tam Ha, which makes her feel very unreal. The final battle in the imagination has no traps, no difficulties, but these people have given up. He thought this path would be very difficult, even ready to resist attacks from the crowd, but everything turned out to be smooth. Tai Yang laughs loudly, looking at him with no concern for the schemes of Phương Hu and others. As long as he holds the divine artifacts, no one can cause trouble. He swallows the divine artifacts of Nuwa directly but realizes that his body is starting to collapse and cannot control the divine artifacts. Tai Yang shouts loudly, "Spirit of the flower, help me immediately." His body gradually stops collapsing and begins to merge wildly with the divine artifacts of Nuwa. Both sides begin a fierce confrontation. At this moment, Bok Tuong Kin says that the opportunity has come. He is finally not the heir of Nuwa, despite the small resistance he faces. But the fusion is not easy. Even with the help of the spirit of the flower, he cannot control the divine artifacts in a short time. Stop him now quickly. Bok Tuong Kin and others finally understand Phương Hui's plan and cannot help but admire the courage of the opponent. Knowing that Lam Tin Ha cannot cope, intentionally creating opportunities for the opponent to merge with the divine artifacts, she cannot attack during the fusion. Then, continue to attack. Bok Tuong Kin explains to Lin Lin and Lang Nghe whether Lin Lin can continue fighting. Lin Lin nods. Then, looking towards Phương Hu, I have underestimated you. I didn't expect you to create an opportunity like this. Victory and defeat lie here. Lin Lin and Bok Tuong Kin rush towards Lam Tin Ha. In the midst of it all, a sense of unease crept in as Phương Hu and his group failed to show up. Standing still in place, Phương Hu did not act. It seemed as though his aloof demeanor could not keep pace with Lin Lin's growing anxiety. Both were in a state of panic. To them, this was a rare and hard-to-find opportunity. Initially, they needed to deal with Lam Tam Ha, who may be truly formidable, but for now, confronting just a fraction of the deities would suffice. Lin Lin was confident that once she unleashed the divine form of Nuoa, she would be capable of handling one fraction while Phương Hu and others teamed up against the other. Bok Tuong Kin also spoke up. Do you know that once Lam Tin Ha merges with the deities of Nuoa, his power will approach a mystery that would be the moment Tu Nuoc Hai smirked. Now, only he truly understood Phương Hua's plan, because when the deities of Nuoa manifested, his diminishing intellect was gradually being restored. Although very feeble, it was indeed emerging and recovering rapidly. The same was true for himself. The deities needed no further explanation. It is simply commendable. Tu Nuoc Hai sneered. What does it matter to be close to a deity? Bok Tuong Kin also regarded Tu Nuoc Hai as a fool. More nonchalant and indifferent. Aren't you always curious about our identities? Aren't you always intrigued by why I refer to Phương Hu as sir? It's really quite simple, as Lam Tin Ha put it. Phương Hu and I, sir, truly come from beyond, with a divine lineage. Perhaps you cannot comprehend. Simply put, in my golden era, crushing Lam Tin Ha without the deities was akin to squashing an ant. Even if he has a divine body, he is just an empty shell without power. Speaking of this, in Zi Shaohai's eyes, there is a hint of madness. He is a god, even when he blends with the gods of the female emperor. Approaching the god is still not a god in the end. In O2's eyes appeared a little unbelievable. It feels like listening to a fairy tale. I admit that Master Feng Wei is very strong, but compared to the god, Tu Shaohai cursed. What do you know? Master Feng Wei has been injured. After entering this world, the power is well understood, and now the god-level law has appeared. The cannibalism in the vicinity has been forbidden, and the power of the great man is recovering. Once the great man recovers his strength, what will those insignificant rivers do anymore? He is capable of rivaling the womanizer, the top mysterious god. After speaking, he looked at the great man passionately, and asked the great master to take action. In front of these natives, show the unparalleled strength of the great man.